Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday, the day after the Academy Awards. And you noticed by my thumbnail, that's what I'm going to talk about today. Because besides loving Disneyland and being an Imagineer, Terri Hardin, Walt Disney legendary Imagineer, here we are on a Monday on my channel. Hope you guys are doing really, really well. How are you? Of course, we all have other things that we love. And my thing is I love movies. I love movies. Many of you may love music. Many people have asked me before, what music do you listen to while sculpting? I don't. I listen to films because I tend to like to dance, and because I like to dance, I can't dance while sculpting. It just doesn't work. So I put a movie on that I know really, 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 really well. And one of the things that happened yesterday at the Academy Awards is they did a 50th anniversary celebration of The Godfather. I thought it was kind of meh, but it was great to see the guys, wasn't it? If you watched this, it was great to see the guys. If you didn't watch this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It wasn't the best show, okay? But what was cool is some upsets happened. And those of you who have warned me against clickbait know all about the incident that happened with with Will Smith and Chris Rock and Will Smith. So we'll talk about that a little bit, but it will not monopolize. Unfortunately for the Academy Awards, it's already monopolized the entire thing, including Will Smith's win, which is too bad. He tried to pull up with the plane, but it skidded on the ground anyway. The damage had been done, and you could just look at Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and know that's what all the papers were like. Will Smith wins for Best Actor and punches Chris Rock, and slaps, not punches, slaps Chris Rock. So it kind of sounded like he won his award and then he went bip, which is not what happened. But for the clickbait, as I've been warned by several of my tribe members, this is how it works. Post in the comments your comments, but I'm going to talk about this today because there was a lot happening. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to move this. This is my treasure chest, how I choose members of my Patreon. Members of Patreon, Terri's Tribe on Patreon. We do a treasure chest once a month. This time we did it twice a month. But I'm going to show you the Patreon page. It's here. I'll find it in a minute. There it is. Patreon.com/Terri Hardin, and you can be a part of this. So we won some really wonderful prizes today. What's happening is I get a lot of cool stuff, okay, because I'm an Imagineer and get cool stuff, all right, just do. And I could sell it on eBay, but I decided what I'd really like to do is to give it to the tribe. So everybody has a number and these nice little orange balls in this thing, and I sing and carry on, and I'm going to pull this off so that we can go to the next thing. And the next thing is I want to get I want to hook up my iPad because I may have a picture or two I want to show you today. So let me just shift from, I always do a broadcast here before I broadcast to you. So I have to kind of prepare both ways, swing both ways. So I'm doing that now. So bear with me as I plug in my system here so that if I want to show you something on the, there we go. If I want to show you something while I talk today, I can just pull it up on my iPad. So that's why I'm doing that. In fact, actually, I don't think I have it here. I think just give me a minute, guys. See if I can grab it. I'm concerned that I might lose you, so let's not do that. I'll see if I can find it here. Let's see. Scarlet dresses. Oh, Scarlet. Academy Awards. Yeah. Let's see. Nope, I did that wrong too. Let's try it again. But my point is this. There was lots and lots of red at the Academy Awards, and I just wanted to pop here. Red at. Let me do that and see if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. This is what I wanted. This is what I wanted. Let's see if I can grab it. There we go. Got it. All right. Sorry about that. I should have done it beforehand, but it was really important that I do that just to show you some of the. Today will be my observations of the Academy Awards. The first observation is whoop, whoop, Coda won. Okay. Now, if you have seen Terri Hardin, Walt Disney's Legendary Imagineer, Friday, last Monday, back. You know that I have been saying Coda is Best Picture, okay? And you've also heard me say that Power of the Dog is a dog, and we'll talk about that too. Now, if you disagree with me, okay, you saw Power of the Dog, you loved Power of the Dog, and, okay, whoop. Let me just fix that. There we go. There we go. Okay, here we go. There we go. Excellent. Done. So I can share this with you, okay? All right. Okay, we're ready. So join us. We do a Zoom call on Patreon, Terri's Tribe. You remember the tribe? $5 a month, $60 a year. And today we had a treasure chest where people could win fabulous prizes, okay? Like next week is this little Tigger pin. So I do stuff like that, and it's great. It's great fun. So yes, it's a good thing. It's a fun thing. There's so much more than just stuff like that. But on to the Academy Awards. Let me pull up my cheat sheet and my notes. Okay, overall, let me just take this off. So you guys, please post in the comments your thoughts and opinions, okay? And we will touch base on it, all right? First of all, there wasn't a lot of hope for this Academy Awards being viewed. And if you guys know what the final stats are on the Academy Award as to how many people did not watch it, lots of jokes of the 8 people that got to watch it got a little special surprise. I was one of those 8, I guess. But the point is that ABC had a lot riding on these awards. It's expensive to put on an award show, and they wanted people to watch, viewership. The fact that if people don't view, then the award show could go by the wayside entirely. And so they were really wanting it to be a good show. I thought there were several things that bothered me about the award show. I've watched the Academy Awards since I was 3 years old. Okay. And one of the things that I got to say right off the bat, before, right off the bat, I don't get into people's backstory that much unless it's got some heart. So the young lady who won for West Side Story, talking about how she was in the back of the car, back of her parents' car, and she was odd and different. And now she had won an Academy Award and urged people just to keep going and don't let others choose your life. Pretty much what I said, which I'm happy. I was happy to see, but just a couple of things that I observed, and this is why Terri watches it alone. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to share with you is this. All right, this, and thank you to everyone who posted this picture. LA Times. I got it from Patch.com. I'm just going to say this is not my photo. I was not there, but the guy from Shang-Chi looks like he put his suit in the dryer and it shrank. I have no idea what this look is. Bless your heart, but you are welcome to wear a bigger size. You have a very nice body, and you're welcome to wear a bigger size. The same with the women. Even now, there's several other shots where the women had this happening. And honestly, guys, we got a Me Too movement happening here, and I'm feeling like, why is this so important to wear something that I am worried you're going to fall out of the entire show? Because you're excited, you're going to win, you're presenting whatever, and you're wearing these outfits that look like they're pasties over the girls, and it just was driving me crazy. And we open with Serena and her sister, and they're wearing such a low-cut outfit. So many people wearing an outfit, and I was just kind of like, what is this? Now, come on. This is beautiful, guys. Why can't you just wear something? I don't mind low cut, okay? I don't mind low cut. I just don't want to be worrying about you becoming a statistic in the outfit that really doesn't look like it's fitting you that well. Is all I'm saying, okay? It also, everybody was red. This is only 4 people, but I counted easily 10 to 12 people who had red scarlet outfits. So I'm wondering if the Academy stars were offered this beautiful red fabric, and it almost came off to me like uniforms, as red, 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 red. Everybody, and it was the same, hue of red there, except for, I got to give the Shang-Chi guy, his was a different hue of red. But I found myself really excited when people wore a different color, because there were there was so much red. It looked like, you got a bargain on that bolt, and everybody bought from that bolt of fabric. That's kind of what it looked like to me. Okay, that was my observation. The other thing that bothered me were the hosts. Why is it? And you please talk to me and understand, if what I'm saying is upsetting you, don't attack me personally, and I won't attack you personally. I did not attack them personally. It just looks to me, these are my observations, and you are welcome to yours. Just debate properly. Don't attack the person debating, and I won't attack you either. This is not about this. This is not an attack. This is Terri's observation. I've been watching the Academy Awards since I was 3, and I some of the outfit choices are crazy. I will say everybody's choice this year, as far as hairstyles and or looks, were thoughtful. Even the costumer for Cruella, and wasn't she adorable? Cruella was one that I voted for as well, and I was so excited when they got it. She was very sweet about her outfit, because she walked up and I was like, what is she wearing? And she's a costumer, and then she explained what she was wearing, because she was sure people are going to be like, why is she wearing that? So she decided in part of her speech to explain her process. And she said, I really couldn't do much with my hair. I should have talked to the hair and makeup team before I came on. But her hair was lovely. She was lovely. She was adorable. And the outfit was very cute once we knew what it was about. But the 3 hosts come out, and I don't know what it is. Okay. I don't know what it is. And I'm going to say this. What did I love about the Academy Awards? Coda won. And Coda won. And Coda won. Okay. I really believe that the only reason Power of the Dog, which was a dog of a movie, a terrible movie, just did I mention terrible movie? Won for Best Director, and I'm really happy for her that she won for Best Director, because it's nice to see a female director win. I just wish she hadn't won for that film. Okay. I just thought that film was, you heard. And so, but if Coda had been up, she wouldn't have won. Okay. If they had nominated the director of Coda, which they should have, she would not have won. It would have gone to Coda. I think you get that now. Okay. Coda was one of the best pictures of the year. And if you haven't seen it, please do. Please see this movie. It's amazing. A lot of them, when they did their speeches, talked about what a really great opportunity this was, and what a great shot in the arm it was for the deaf community. And I agree, it is. But the thing they didn't address is what a great shot in the arm it is for us who are not deaf. Okay. The thing I love about Coda is it doesn't hit you over the head with their message. I love something that you watch the movie and as it unfolds, you go, wow, I never thought of it that way. I never looked at it that way. And Coda does just that. It tells about a young girl who can hear, and she's born to her deaf family. And it opens up as to what her struggles are. And I have to be honest, until I saw this movie, I didn't really think about that. And so that's what I love about it, because it doesn't hit you in the head. And I'm not making a joke about Will Smith right now. It doesn't hit you in the head as far as, their message, but it's the subtleties. It's told through joy, it's told through love, and it's told through trial and challenges. And I just thought it hit all the marks. Brilliant story, beautifully acted, beautifully directed, beautifully unfolding. And I've watched it over and over again. And so you heard me on the other channels telling you Coda was going to be the winner. And I am so grateful to the Academy for stepping up, going away from the norm, because everybody was saying it was going to be Power of the Dog. And I'm sorry, you saw what that movie did not win. Okay, it was up for a lot. And I think they voted for Best Director because that director is so personable. I think they wanted this director to win because she deserved to win. It just was for the wrong film, in my opinion. All of this is my opinion, okay? All right? All of it. So I apologize for nothing. But that's why she won. I remember sitting with Dom Judi Dench and asking her about a statement she made when she had won an Academy Award for a small role where she played the Queen in something. Shakespeare in Love was the movie. Okay, she is such a brilliant actress, and I know you agree with me. A brilliant actress, and they gave her the Academy Award, and she said, I really love winning this award. I'm really grateful. I'm so touched. But I feel it's for my body of work, not necessarily that movie, because the part was really small. And she had acted in so many other movies where she was super strong, where she did not take home the gold, right? So she just mentioned that happens with the Academy. They go, wow, she's great. I would like to acknowledge her work. So she got it for that. And so it doesn't diminish the award by any level. This director, amazing director, one that should win for her work. I just disagree with the Power of the Dog. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Wish it was another movie, because everybody talks about what an amazing director she is, and obviously she's an amazing director. I just don't think that's the movie that was the one for her. So that's why, if Coda was up, she would not have won, even though she's a great lady and she has a great body of work. So the stars aligned, and that's the way it worked. And she deserved the win. Okay. She deserved the win, just not for that movie. Okay. Other films that I was very excited about is anything that Encanto was in, it won. And this is because you find yourself singing this movie well after, whether you have children or not. Once you see it, you're singing the Bruno song, whether you want to or not. I didn't think the live action did it justice, but it was beautiful and colorful. So I really enjoyed that. My favorite song, I have to tell you, is not the one that won, but Reba McEntire singing that song. I thought it was just lovely. I could not fast forward. I always get a little bit, I record it so that I can fast forward through stuff. I loved when Billie Eilish won Best Song, though, because that's what I like to see in an Academy Award. Is I like to see someone just really let it go. And Billie is always someone who always, to me, appears to be a little bit sleepy. All of her pictures have this over the eye. And of course, that's her brand. Okay. One of the things about when we present something is we have our brand that we present and then us as a human being. And if you keep those separate, you keep your delicate underbelly safe. And Billy was so cute last night as she leapt up and down, and she just couldn't speak. She was so excited. There she was with her brother. They had won together. How fun to win with your brother and share this with them. And she was just as giggly as a schoolgirl. And I absolutely loved her just giggling and smiling and so surprised that she won. And she just kept, she just bubbled. She bubbled who she wanted to thank. She may have forgot some people, but I really like it when people thank the people. I want the story. As I said before, I think the Daily Variety should do a newspaper so that every nominee can thank all of those they need to thank. And then they can talk about their life and how it feels, to listen to Marley talk about, it's what, the 30th anniversary of her movie, and now it's this kind of a distance before another movie with deaf actors is in it, and she said that it's a long and waiting, and she hopes that it paves the way for us to do more. I think what Marley is really saying is it paves the way for you to experiment and explore with all kinds of actors from all walks of life, not just deaf, and help all of us to understand and to enjoy that which we do not know without being hit over the head with it. Okay. So I thought this was just unbelievable. I thought that, I was so excited. And I voted for him. I voted, just understand, across the board, Coda was my vote. Okay. I just thought everything about Coda. I thought every single person in Coda should win, because they are just, in the Screen Actors Guild, their cast took it. And that's because the cast is just brilliant, and I want to, Troy, who won for best actor in a supporting role. I just want to say that the young man who played her brother in the movie, equally sweet and adorable. Just one of the cutest, most charismatic, compelling actors. He did not get nominated, but I just want him to know that he was a very, very integral part of the movie, and he did not go unnoticed. I think my one of my favorite scenes in Coda is between him and his hearing sister, where he tells her how he feels, and it's beautiful. And we didn't really, if you haven't seen it, it wasn't really focused on, but it was one of my favorite. I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, when you see it, we can talk more if you haven't seen it, but if you have seen it, you know what I mean. He talks about how saddened he is. And it was a moment where I was like, I never thought of that before. I loved it mostly through Coda. I was like, I never thought of that. Isn't that interesting? Thank you for sharing that. Wow, that's exciting. That's the entire cast, including the music teacher, who I absolutely adored. I thought the music teacher was sweet, kind, compassionate, and a good leader. Okay. He talks about being late, and for every minute you're late, the disrespect you show others. So I apologize for being a little late today, but this was too compelling. This was a compelling Academy Award. I know you're kind of hanging on this, probably wanting to know what I thought about the Will Smith slap. Yeah. At first, I thought it was fake, okay? Because, last year with Glenn Close twerking or whatever the heck that awful dance was, this looked real. And we're actors. Both are actors. Chris Rock is an actor. Will Smith is an actor. And I thought it was, at first, many thought it was not for real. So let's break it down in its components, okay? Chris Rock is a volatile comedian. Would you agree? Chris Rock is kind of the modern day Don Rickles. Okay. They roast people in the true fashion of the word roast. Okay. And if you're going to put Chris Rock as a presenter, you do that knowing that Chris Rock is kind of the Don Rickles. Okay. If you're out observing, you are all fair game to him. Okay. Especially if you're sitting in the front row. All right. Now, Will Smith's wife has a I don't even know what I would call it, but let's say a circumstance. Let me say that, where she is losing her hair, and it's alopecia, where she's losing her hair. Actually, I got to tell you, she had one of the most beautiful dresses and one of the most beautiful. Just thought she was beautiful, and she rocked her look. Okay, I do not think Chris was dissing her look to be mean. Chris was being Chris Rock. Okay, is this right? Is this not? I don't know. Okay. But it struck Will it struck Will. Now, what I wish that Will Smith had done is remember who that is, number one. Number two, walk angrily towards him. I know they were close. He still had to close in about, what was it, 15 feet to get up on that stage? He still had to stand before Chris and slap him. Each one of those, a red light could have said, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. Okay? Here's my thing. If Will was offended by it, I would have preferred he go off stage and confront Chris privately. Okay? Chris, that joke wasn't cool. I don't appreciate that. I didn't appreciate that. Okay. We saw his wife's face go dark the minute he made the joke, which was a G.I. Jane joke, meaning the shaved head or the bald head. But honestly, it would have been better if Will had kept it in check and then afterwards stood before Chris and said, Chris, not cool. Okay. But he didn't. He reacted. Here's another observation I think you should all consider. Okay. Think about this. And I don't want this to be something that is true, but Chris Rock and Will Smith have had challenges in the past with each other. Maybe Chris said one too many digs that made Will angry. And so maybe Will said to him, cut it out. Don't make me the brunt of your jokes. I don't like it. I'd appreciate it if you didn't. And unfortunately, Chris Rock probably said, this is open season for me to do it again. But then you are the person that is putting together the Academy Awards, and these two men have this electricity between them. They have this situation, right? And you put them in there. Did you hope, as the schedulers and the creators of the Academy Award, that something like this would happen? Did you put them together in the hopes that Will Smith would do exactly what he did and completely overshadow the rest of the Academy Award show? Okay, I've watched this show since I was 3 years old and I'm almost 65. Okay, so here is my question. Did you do this hoping that these two men would come to blows? Two bull elephants in the same room, you got a 50-50 chance they're going to get upset. Okay, did you do it so that he might do this? Because unfortunately for Will Smith, and I've done a lot of movies with Will Smith, I love Will Smith. He's an amazing fellow. I haven't met Chris Rock, but I would imagine he's an amazing fellow, but he's a stinker. This is his job. His job is to roast you. And you have to be ready because he digs, he stabs, he scratches. Will isn't the first one, but there was animosity between them. If you dig deep into the story, you can see that Will has not been happy with a lot of things that Chris has said in his direction. So did the creators put these two together in the hopes that maybe someone would pop? And they got their wish, because now people are using it as clickbait. They're talking about this and this alone. And this is really sad because they want to get the views. And I refuse to do it on my tag. I did say I'm going to talk about some juicy stuff, and it's true. There's lots of juicy stuff I want to talk about. The red outfits with the pasties. What is that? Okay. And this incident. And if you disagree, guys, please post in the comments because I'm going to get to you. We're going to talk about this if you want to, okay? Give me your view. But I don't want to think that the Academy did this on purpose and put these two together. There was a rehearsal the day before, and Will Smith was in the room when Chris was doing it, but Chris did not do this last part, as I understand. Now, I wasn't in the room, okay? I was not at the Academy Awards. No. But when the sound cut out, you know the guys in the control room went, uh-oh, and the sound just cut out. The other thing is, Chris Rock hit a nerve, and poor Will just, he's already hoping to win for King Richard as well as everything else. And it just was the perfect catalyst for an explosion. And although when Will Smith won for King Richard, he tried really, 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 really hard to diffuse it. What he probably should have said was, I shouldn't have lost my temper. And I'm sorry, Chris Rock, that I did. But buddy, you drive me to that often. And I want to say, please stop. But I should never have struck you. No one should strike anyone, especially in front of the 8 viewers that saw it, according to most of you who are talking about the Academy Awards. It's going to go down as the Academy Awards where Will Smith hit Chris Rock. It's not going to necessarily go down for all the other wonderful achievements that happened. And that's really sad that it took away even from Will Smith's own win. Even though he tried to pull the plane up, it still skidded. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. And I understand, but you had, with every step you walked, you had the opportunity to not do that. At least to say, shake your finger, or how dare you, or, stand in front of the audience and say, not cool. Instead, but striking someone is never okay. Okay. And when a person sees an actor do it, someone in the Will Smith position, they could think that it's okay for them to do it. And I'm one of these people that will really rip you a new one if you take me to task in public. You pull me aside with respect and have it out person to person, okay? That's what you do. Either way, But I can't help but I'm suspecting that the Academy did this so that they could get more views because people are watching it now after the fact. So it worked. And Will Smith had forgive the terrible pun, but he had a hand in it. And people are looking at it not because Will Smith won for one of the finest. I think it's such a great performance. And it was a movie that needed to be made. I thought it was an amazing movie. I love these two beautiful tennis playing girls. I've loved them since they were little. I just, they were an inspiration to me. The whole family is an inspiration to me. And I thought the movie was excellent. It's one of my favorite movies. So I'm just sad that this overshadows everything. And it's just too bad. And then to come up and try to accept your award and say we should be, that you're being called by God to step forward with love. And you want to protect, don't assault. Okay. And Chris Rock was asked if he was going to bring charges against Will Smith. And I said he wouldn't. Okay. Now, why do you think Chris Rock would not do that? Because now he can talk about it on every talk show with every talk show host that he wants to. They're all going to ask about it. They're all going to ask what he felt. And Chris Rock will take this all the way to the bank. So again, Will, my love, my dear, I've done 2 or 3 films with you. And I was so excited when you won. Unfortunately, because you lost your temper, you gave Chris Rock exactly what you didn't want to. The story will live over and over and over again. And I feel this is why Chris isn't going to do anything, because you just gave him the gift of a lifetime. He's going to be on every talk show talking about just that. Tell me I'm wrong. Okay? So now I've addressed that. Now I'm going to skate away from that. And now I'm going to talk about the Academy Awards show. Okay? Deal? Deal. All right. So the opening with the ladies, all right? And I took copious notes for you today. Opening with Serena and her sister Venus. Forgive me if I get it wrong. I was so rattled by your outfits. You are two beautiful tennis playing women. And one of my favorite things is the Wonder Woman commercial that Serena does, and in the Wonder Woman outfit. I just don't see why you needed to have the low cut to places unknown, that I needed to see that. Maybe it's because I'm 65, but the problem is we're not looking at your face by then. We're looking here. And that really bothered me. And that's how the show kicked off, was this outfit that I was worried. You see, as a woman, you worry. You know, I went through this Janet Jackson thing, is if these women turn a certain way, there's going to be nothing left to the imagination. So now I'm worrying about them falling out of their outfits instead of what I should be listening to what they have to say. So that really bothered me. Okay. I'm saying this with love. I really am. Please don't, take a, take a page out of Marley's outfit, and actually out of Will Smith's wife Jada's outfit, which was stunning yesterday. I think the trains are a little crazy because, you got to worry about that train. In fact, one of the presenters had a long train and they stepped on it. She went like this as they were exiting, and she wasn't real happy about that. But I mean, you got a train that's, 25 feet long behind you. Jada's was not that long, and it was a beautiful dress. And it was nice. I mean, you can have one that kind of goes here and you're strapless, but I know you're set, ladies, So I really had problem with this, outside pasty look that seemed to control the evening. It really, really bothered me. And then the hosts. Okay, here we go. I always tell the truth, which is why you guys can say yes or you can guys say no. Just change the channel if I'm annoying you. I don't always talk about this. I always talk about Disney. I talk about something silly Disney. I talk about something deep Disney. But the Academy Awards are my jam. I love the Academy Awards. I'm a member of the Screen Actors Guild. My husband is a member of the Academy as an art director. So, but I was 3 and loved the Academy Awards. So I've never missed a show since I was 3. Okay. So they're very, very dear to me. And I want to help. Why is it that a woman can talk some sexy, innuendo-y stuff about a man, but if the man does it, he's in trouble? Okay? So these women coming on stage, these 3 women, and talking about the hunks they see, how they've been checking the men out, and there's some delicious men. To me, I'm sorry. I don't think that door should swing. I don't think you need to do it. I think it's inappropriate both directions. Now, maybe the men don't mind, but that doesn't matter. There's women out there that don't mind if you say something a little sexy, borderline, vulgar about them. There are women out there that don't mind that. But I don't think it should be. It's not a place for the Academy Awards. And these women were talking this horrible, sexy talk to open and I was like, what are you doing? We have the Me Too movement out there. And honestly, the Me Too movement could swing both ways, guys. So what are you doing? Now, maybe I'm oversensitive to it, but I don't think that's right, okay? And I'm just going to put it right out here. I don't think you should write that dialogue. And if you're an actress who is against it, you step up and say, I'm not saying this. I'm not going here, okay? Write something else. Okay, because I was, oh my gosh, are they really doing this? And they were. All 3 were doing it. And I was like, I'm sorry. I don't like it. I didn't like it. Okay, I'm just going to tell you, I didn't like it. I did, however, love the joke about multiple accents in in the House of Random Accents, as opposed to the House of Gucci, House of Random Accents. And you remember I talked about House of Gucci and said, watch out, because the first third of the movie is people are talking like this, and you wonder what is going on with everybody talking like this, because this is really not the family. And why wasn't the family irritated that you're all talking about spicy meatball? Why are you doing that? And then the funny thing about House of Gucci is 1/3 of the way in, it stops. Like they all of a sudden realize they're doing these ridiculous accents and it needs to stop. And I've never seen that in a movie before. Usually they'll say, okay, we're going to have to reshoot this so it all sounds right, because it was absolutely distracting. And one of the actors who had a terrible bald makeup, that makeup was just awful, never got the memo. So the whole time he was talking like this through the entire movie, when everybody else had stopped, he was talking like this. It was killing me. However, I will say that I think Lady Gaga was the best one in the whole group. She at least didn't sound like she was, a parody out of Saturday Night Live. It was so distracting that you could barely watch the movie because of these horrible accents. And later, when they just dropped them, you felt your whole body go, oh, thank God, and you wonder why they did it in the middle of the movie. So I thought that joke was pretty funny. But one of the things that really bothered me, okay, maybe I should give you an example about women saying things that I thought were inappropriate, and that if a man said it, it would be a problem. So in a point of the Academy Awards, they talked about she stepped forward and she said some of the COVID tests had come back messed up, so she was going to call a few guys back to a few people. And if she said your name, and she was holding it up, if I say your name, come to the stage, we're going to take you back and we're going to redo the test. Now, we all know, especially if you're in the entertainment industry, this is a skit. But she pulled up about 4 men, all very handsome. And she said, we're just going to swab the back of your mouths with my tongue. We're going to go backstage, swab the back of your mouths with my tongue. And people laughed, but it was an uncomfortable laugh, because I'm sorry, it was inappropriate. And personally, if I had been, and they're not going to ask me, okay, let's be real, I'm not going to host the Academy Awards. But you do put yourself in that situation. And I really wish she had said, I'm not saying this. This is not funny. I'm not doing it. Because this was so inappropriate to me. Can you imagine? Put a man here. You imagine a man puts 4 women up there and he says, I'm going to take you in the back and swab the back of your mouth with my tongue. You get it, right? So why is it okay? Why does somebody think it's okay for a woman to say this? It's equally inappropriate. And so, no. I just said, and there could be a pat down is the other thing they said. I'm just going to have to really, the pat down that she did was like, okay, no. Please don't just, it was painful for me. And that's the way it kicks off. Okay. Just, I don't know who wrote that, but get rid of that. Okay. That was so offensive to me. And I didn't like it. Now let's swing over to something happy, which was Encanto, that just swept it, right? If Encanto was in there, Encanto was winning, wasn't it? And I was really happy about that, because it's a joyful, upbeat, fun movie. And people talked about it. It addressed all different kind of types of people. And that was lovely. But I just, Bruno is one of my favorite songs. I sing it to myself, but it's one of the ones I can't have in my shop because, we don't talk about Bruno. It's just got a great rhythm. It's got that beat. It's got everything we love about that kind of music. And it's all wrapped up in one sweet, adorable kind of movie. And we just love it. So, and I identify with several of the characters there. Sometimes you're just having a day, right? But I was very happy about that. As you know, I brought the house down. You can't watch Academy Awards with me because as you can tell, I'm very opinionated. But Troy Katzer wins for Coda, and I'm screaming. My poor husband wished he was wearing headphones because I was screaming, yelling. I knew that the Academy was not going to disappoint me. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. And I was so excited that they did not disappoint me. This man was so special, and you'll see his performance. Don't miss Coda, guys. And I started to talk about what Coda is going to do, okay? Coda is a streaming movie from Apple TV. How many will agree Apple doesn't have a heck of a lot for you to watch? They're getting better, but guess what's going to change? Apple's going to be able to have better content because now they are one of the strong people in the room. Okay. They came in strong with Ted Lasso, and we all know that's an amazing series. And if not, you get your Apple TV and you watch that series because you need that series. That's one of the best series to come out and to help you feel better in a time in the pandemic where you're feeling kind of cruddy. Watch Ted Lasso. Do not pass go. Don't collect $200. Watch Ted Lasso. And while you're there, catch Coda. Okay. Because Coda's amazing. And it does a lot. It's an independent film. They had challenges getting it fine. People were like, I don't know. Well, now you do. Okay. Because what did I say before? If you've got a good story, I don't need your effects. I don't need your visual vomit all over a movie. You know, I need a good story. If you give me a good story, I'm there 110% for you. Okay. Tick, Tick, Boom was another one. Okay. I just love this movie. And I'm not much with singing movies, but I thought that movie was incredible because, again, it made me aware of certain things without clunking me over the head with it. And I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. And I'm hoping that movies like Coda are beginning to help other directors, producers, et cetera, realize it's a subtle telling, not pow in your face. Okay. We don't need that. We don't need it to be this preachy, blah, 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 blah movie. It just needs to be a movie that you shoot the way you want so that people understand what you're trying to say. Okay. And it was Coda nails the marks on many levels. And although I wasn't a fan of Cruella, the costumes were off the chain. And I'm so glad that they won for them. You know, Cruella is worth it to watch the costumes. Okay. I think it kind of falls short in the last act, which many movies can, that they're great in the beginning, but the end kind of goes, bleh. That's what I feel about Cruella, but the costumes are worth watching. I watch it over and over for the costumes because I would love to create a doll of that character and emulate some of those costumes. I just think the costumes were just so creative, so brilliant, and so unusual. And it won, and I was very happy about that. I wasn't thrilled with the fact that we didn't get to see or hear the speeches. It was kind of, well, we got to see them do a little speech. That was nice, but, you know, not being able to, you know, last year when they showed all the costumes live on mannequins, I don't know if they did that last year, but they did it the year before. That's the way I like it the most. I know it takes time, but I still liked it. And then, like I told you before, it was a red fest, you know. Red is a beautiful color. And it's just that everybody decided to wear red. Nobody got the memo that, you know, or maybe they did. There's, you know, we got 5,000 yards of this bolt. Why don't you come and have your dress made out of this? So that's the thing. And then the black on black on black on black on black song was a little tough. So the set was black. I'm pretty sure this is the Billie Eilish song with her brother. She was wearing all black. He was wearing a lot of black. The piano was black. The stage was black. And they would have lights kind of cross through it. I was actually waiting for puppets because as a puppeteer, we're always wearing black, and that's so we can't be seen. And so I was thinking it would have been great to have puppets in there at the time. But like I told you before, I thought Billie Eilish and her brother were two of the most adorable people when they talked about how happy they were to win the award that were there that day. I just think how these two dress. She dressed like she dresses, and he dressed like he dressed it. And if she was going to wear black, then do something on the stage that makes her and him pop. She pops on her own, he pops on her own, but it just was all this black and, kind of floating head. And it bothered me for TV. Maybe live it wasn't so bad, but we're not live, are we? We're watching it on TV. So that kind of bothered me, the black on black on black. Yeah. We'll skip past the incident, the slap, and the swearing was not necessary. Okay. But I just thought she was beautiful. She was beautiful. And then Jessica won for Best Actress, Jessica Chastain. Okay. I voted for her. I'm a super fan of Jessica's. Okay. I'm a super fan of her. Jessica is someone who is an actress who just not only embraces a character she's portraying, but she chews it up and she just really dedicates 100,000,000% to her character. And as Tammy Faye, she was wonderful. But when I really thought Jessica just was a life-changing character is the character she played in The Help. And if you haven't seen The Help in a while, go back and watch it. It's really worth your time. Really worth your time to see The Help. It's a beautiful movie, but I want you to pay attention to her character. She's sweet, she's kind, she's charming. We feel her heart. She is all about heart, and that's what I like about Jessica Chastain. I feel her heart when she acts. She puts her heart out there and she gives you her heart. Here's my heart for a couple of hours. I want you to take my very sensitive heart and be sure to give it back to me intact, okay? Do the journey with me. Follow the journey with me. She just brings heart to whatever she does, and I was so happy that she won yesterday. I was so proud of her, and I jumped up and down for her because in The Help, she is the one I watched the movie over and over and over again. And everybody in The Help is really good. Okay. They're all really good. But Jessica, and I'm someone about character actors. Okay. I love movies, but because I am a character actor myself, I love the people who salt and pepper the outlines around the leads. I tend to watch them more, maybe more than most. I want to know how they are making the whole picture become complete, because a stew isn't a stew without the seasonings. Your dish isn't a good dish unless you have the seasonings. And so all of the salt, the garlic, the pepper, all of that, those character actors who pepper the movie are what make it special. And that's what I felt about Jessica. Forgive me because, that's my father who always calls me when I'm broadcasting. I'll get back to him. But honestly, this is I wanted to just be so upfront. I wanted to address that because she really deserved to win. And she's just she was just so wonderful. And congratulations to you, because you were quite a girl. And I'll follow you anywhere with your acting. I think that you're really good. And I think I mentioned before that Andrew Garfield is another one that I just adore. I think he's got the sweetest cutest little smile. And she thanked him for helping her be better at the Tammy Faye Baker role, that he was there to do readings and to help her fine tune her character. And you just know these two are super generous individuals, as well as amazing performers. So I wanted to talk about that too. So that's kind of my spin. I did like when Will Smith said that Denzel warned him that he was at a high, and that's when the devil comes to get you. And it looks like it did at one point. And I also liked when I think it was Will Smith who said that his mom didn't attend because she had a knitting group. I mean, how cute is that? Mom didn't make it because she didn't come to the Academy Awards to see me win because she has a knitting group. And the reason I point this out is because when you get to be special in other person's eyes, your mom or your dad is always going to keep you down to earth. And that is a very down to earth, honey, I love you, but I got knitting. I know you're going to do it. I know you're great. Tell me when you get home, but I've got my knitting circle. And I thought that really humbles you, doesn't it? And I was very proud of his mom. I thought that was really cool. And then I was glad he acknowledged that. He said hi to his mom anyway. And then he said, no, she didn't come, because I just thought that was adorable. I thought that was absolutely adorable that she didn't make it, because she was like, you're my son. I know you're great. I don't need to be there. I don't know. I thought that was cute. And I loved it. Dune took 6 Academy Awards, mostly for the technical. And then they also took it for their, no, they didn't. I was thinking that they might have taken it for the writing, but they didn't. They took it for visual art, sound, production design, which I thought was okay. I actually thought Guillermo del Toro's production design on that film was better. My opinion, of course. I just thought that Nightmare Alley's production design was better, and that's my husband. He's a production designer. He thought so too. Dune also won for film editing, which was pretty good. I'm going to give it to them, that I thought that was pretty cool. I actually thought Tick, Tick, Boom had some really nice film editing. And then, yeah, I think that was pretty much it. Yeah, I think that's what, so Dune walked away with 6. West Side Story, of course, walked away with 1. The girl was very good. She was lovely. I thought the movie could have been better. What else can I tell you? If you haven't seen the documentary feature Summer of Soul, it's really good. It won. And wasn't he cute when he gave his speech? He could barely talk, and he had tears in his eyes, and he was adorable, and he was cute, and he was sweet. And I thought his acceptance speech was very wonderful, and I was grateful that we got to hear it. Summer of Soul, I think you can see Summer of Soul on Netflix, guys, and you really should see it. It's a great documentary. Another one is Flea. I thought Flea was very good. This category was tough, because this category had some real teeth. And to win this category is a big one, guys. So Summer of Soul, folks, you can pat yourself on the back, because you had some heavy hitters. My favorite was Writing with Fire, India, and the women who report the news, and that their lives can be in danger because they're reporting the true news on the internet and in a YouTube channel. And they have millions and millions of viewers, and they are getting things done. They're getting electricity to the towns that don't have it, plumbing. They really have done a lot, these women, and at the risk of being killed. They just keep doing it. And it's a great documentary. I hope you will tune in and check that one out. It's called Writing with Fire. Flea was excellent, done with animation and live action. And I think they did it so that the things that are truly terrible don't feel as terrible, as painful, as scary. I thought that was really well done. But they're all great in that category. Ascension, Attica, Flea, Summer of Soul, and Writing with Fire. All excellent. Writing had my vote. And I thought it was just genius. Let me look through here and see if there's anything else. Drive My Car was up for Best Picture and International Feature Film, and I knew it would win International Feature Film. I didn't like it. It was seriously dull to me, very boring. And so it didn't do much for me, but I knew that a lot of people liked it. So I figured that's how they were going to do that, how they were going to handle that. It's one of the reasons that when Parasite won, like the Best Picture, that I was very excited. Again, the Academy making me very happy by picking a film that really needed to be chosen, not because it was a foreign film, but because it had a great message. So I really appreciated that. And I also, again, want to say that Coda is fantastic, and I'm grateful that they did that too. just a lot of brilliant. There were a lot of good stuff. There were a lot of good stuff that happened. A lot of good stuff that happened last night, and a lot of stuff that didn't. But there you go. There's me. Let's go to you. I've spent an hour talking about the Academy Awards. That's because it's close to my heart, guys. It means a lot to me, and I'd love to hear what you have to say now, and we'll go from there. Okay. All right. It looks like you guys have a lot to say. Leo, hello, Leo. Leo says hello. A rainy day is a great day to finally watch Coda. Evan, you're absolutely right. A rainy day is a great day to sculpt, and I've got wind and rain down here. I've got both, and it's just a beautiful day. I love the rain. I love the cold. I love the excuse to wear a sweater. Ava William Frank, good morning. Stephen, transfer accomplished. Stephen, I hope you are doing well and feeling better. I know that you've had some challenges, and I just want you to know that I think about you every single day. And get well, my friend. Be well. It's great for you to join me. I'm glad you're here. Michael Clark, good morning. Well, the old question is answered. Who would win, Will Smith and Chris Rock, even though it was staged? It was staged. Look at how he will walk and smiles as he walks away. Yeah, no, I don't believe it was staged. Will Smith, through the entire thing, tried to smile to disarm what had happened. But it turns out that it actually was a real thing. And apparently Will Smith and Chris Rock have animosity between each other that goes way back. So that's why they brought the third black comedy type guy out to pretty much say we need to all get along. Yeah, it was a scary moment. It could have turned really worse. Could have been worse. And in all fairness to Will Smith, as he saw his hand going, he probably was, wish I could stop this, wish I could stop this, wish I could stop this. I know he did. You know, nobody likes to make it all about something that has nothing to do with the Academy whatsoever, and they did. Know what's on Chris Rock's face? Some Fresh Prince. Oh, Darren. Everyone. Saturday Night Live, dude, that guy. Hello, Terry and friends. Welcome to the new week. Yes, welcome to the new week, and I hope you enjoyed the Academy Awards. They were definitely entertaining. Did you know CODA is an acronym, Child of Deaf Adults? Yes, I did. Thank you, Leo. I did. I actually did. And it made me think, after watching CODA, it made me think of two of my friends who I've worked with extensively in the film industry. They are little people. And they had a full size. They were told when she got pregnant, she was going to have a full size child, and they were nervous. She was nervous. First of all, can she carry this baby? Second of all, she's a little person, and the baby came. She stands about yay tall, I'd say, and the baby was 23 inches long. So if you're 48 inches, maybe 28 is a big baby. And so she was concerned about carrying the baby. And it's something that honestly, I never thought about till I sat with her and she told me her concerns and her excitement about having a child that was not going to be a little person. She was very excited about that, you know, and there's nothing wrong. Okay. She didn't say, you know, I hate being a little person. They are very happy with who they are and about what they're like and everything. You know, they have no problem. They, you know, they're not sitting around saying, I really hate being in this body. You know, that's not them. They're very positive. They're very upbeat, and they're very busy. They work a lot. They may be retired now, but just wonderful, joyful, silly people. And the father said that he better discipline the child early, because once he grows past the father, that he's afraid that the child would take him by the ankles, turn him upside down and say, give me the car keys, Dad. So he wanted to he said, I've got to establish authority in his first few years of existence while he's shorter than me. So they're both really upbeat, joyful people, but it's something I didn't think about. You know, what is the situation when your child is different from you? And how do you handle it? And this is why CODA is so important. It helps me to understand what the deal is. And I don't want to tell you everything about Coda because you need to experience it yourself. But the way it unfolds is wonderful. And you're like, huh, it's great. It's great. So yes, I did know that. Angie says, so I booked myself my first solo Walt Disney World trip in August. I'm excited, but a little nervous. Oh, I think you'll be fine. However, Florida is really not a fun place to be in August. So take a lot of sunscreen. Be sure you have a bottle so you can hydrate. It's one of the worst times to be in Florida. So hopefully you won't have a lot of people joining you. Maybe a lot of people won't be there and you'll have the parks pretty much to yourself, Angie. But August is like, ooh, no. Florida is hot, sticky, humid, and nasty in August. So where, just make sure you can protect your skin because that kind of heat is really difficult. Also take a jacket, a little light jacket, because going from that excessive heat, what they do is pump up the air conditioners. So you go from hot, sticky, uncomfortable to freezing and you can get sick. So be sure that you have just something, a little hoodie or a little sweater or something that as soon as you go in there, you can put it on so that your body can come down to acclimate to the cooler weather, and vice versa. It's like a whiplash. I'm not kidding. So I hope you enjoy yourself. And I hope you share with us when you come back how you liked it. Michelle says, hello, Michelle Donnell. Tim Gillette, hello, Terry, just stopping by on my phone so I could not listen in, so I could listen in, so you could not listen in. Okay, so I'm talking actually. And this is puppet, not signing. I don't know a lot of sign language, but I do know this. I love this because I knew this a long time ago. I used to go to a church that was for the deaf, and I loved it because they play the music in such a way that if you can't hear, you feel the vibrations. And there I learned how a deaf person can show some love, and this is it. My husband goes, "Why are they doing this?" And I said, "This is the way they sort of clap. They say, yay!" It's kind of a yay. I don't know the actual name of the sign, but I know this is the yay sign. This shows they're very pleased with what you just did. And so there was a lot of this when I was at the church, and I just loved being at the church. And I tell myself I need to take time to learn sign language because I love the sign language. I love the fact that you can communicate quietly out in front in the open, with people. And I just think that's awesome. Again, there's a real funny incident with the teacher in Coda, and there's, you want to learn their language. So it just out of respect, you come up with something you learn and make sure you got it right. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about it specifically because some of you haven't seen it, but you'll know what I mean. Wow, that's cool information that I didn't know. Clapping. Yeah. It's just, my husband said, why do they keep doing this? And everybody you saw at the Academy Awards when they won Best Picture, they all did this. This is, that's what that means. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's really, it was a great night for that. Join the tribe. It's a great group. Yeah, we are a good group. We talk specifics. Today we did the treasure chest because I had not done the treasure chest for a few months. And so I did 2 this month so people could win some fun stuff or get some fun stuff. Let me say it that way. I think everybody's a winner. So you get some fun stuff and I hope everybody gets it. I agree with Michelle. It's so much fun and informative, but not only that, but there's so much heart. You should try it out. Thanks, Bob. That's really sweet of you. It's really, really kind of you to say that. Yeah. That's only $5 a month, $60 a year. However, if $5 is the decision between you and your gas tank, I get it. Okay. I get it. So, but it helps me to do these for free for a long time. Darren says, I was disappointed that there wasn't live orchestra until the last third. Yeah. And then they were it appeared like they were under the floor, didn't it? I was like, whoa, Darren, ouch, The dancers singers in the memoriam second was distracting. I agree. In addition, they actually forgot several folks in the memoriam, Bob Saget as Esther, and to name a couple. Yeah, they did post that you could go online and see the full gambit. I didn't like that number, and I'm glad you brought that number up, Darren, because the dancers were silly, and if you were watching a television set, you couldn't see who was being honored. And in memoriam needs to be full screen. We don't need to see dancers. We don't need to see, anything happening. We don't need a singer standing there with a microphone, a nice song, and see who we've lost. I love when they pay tribute, and I thought this year wasn't that good. Also, The Godfather, I didn't think that was a good tribute. I love seeing the three men. I loved that you had Francis Ford Coppola and the two stars. That was cool. But the collage, Lindsay felt like they were kind of ham-fisted in the editing. The same with the several of the edited tributes that they did. Just felt choppy and didn't necessarily make you excited to go see this if you hadn't seen the film, which I'd be surprised if you didn't. But some people don't. I can't assume that you saw The Godfather. It may not have been your cup of tea, but it's monumental. And I highly recommend you to get the disc that has there's 3 movies plus the special features disc where it shows Francis's notebook. Lindsay bought me a book. They actually made a book of Francis Ford Coppola's notebook. And if you want to see it, ask me, and then maybe ask me anything Friday. I'll show you this book. And it's just phenomenal. I remember I worked with Francis Ford Coppola on Captain EO, and I remember just telling him, seeing that prep was phenomenal to me. I was blown away. I just thought, you are an amazing individual. Your preparation is beyond belief. It was, yeah, Francis Ford Coppola is a rock star. It's one of my favorite movies, and getting to work with him was one of my Captain EO. Him and Michael Jackson, Francis Ford Coppola, George Lucas all did Captain EO together, and working with Francis was a real treat. Angelica Houston, also a treat. I got to work with some really beautiful heavy hitters in the industry, and I'll never forget it. It was fantastic. And so seeing him was great to see him. It was great everyone gave him a standing ovation, but it felt kind of lackluster. And I don't know. I just feel, great to see the Academy Museum. That was fun. I was great. I was glad I'm a member, and I really liked how they showed that off. It was yummy. That was yummy. But a lot of the tributes were kind of meh. And then they did what I felt was a bit smarmy, if I can say that, which was have people, tweet or Twitter or social media their greatest moments in film history, and it's all effects driven. And I was like, how about the greatest story? Okay. It might be nice for us to get together sometimes and talk story. Stories you remember that stay with you, that you think about and you go, wow, that was a great story. 16, The Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, The Green Mile. Love The Green Mile. Love The Green Mile. Shawshank Redemption. Love that. Ben-Hur. Love that. Casablanca. Love that. Maltese Falcon. Love that. You can go on and on and on. Joan Crawford films like Humoresque, which if you haven't watched Humoresque, you need to watch it. Okay. It's a black and white film. It's a Joan Crawford film. I don't know how you feel about her, but when you watch this, I think it's important that you observe that the leading actor could not play the violin. And it's about a violinist, a concert violinist, an extremely talented concert violinist. And I want you to watch how they bring this actor who didn't play a note to life with this violin. At one point, there's a shot where there's 2 violinists wrapped around him. One violinist is doing the fingering while the other is doing the bow action, and they're wrapped around this man. You got to see it. It works as well as Cary Grant's harpist does not work in The Bishop's Wife. Okay. It's so detached and it's strange looking. That's because Cary Grant has got the harp next to him, and the harpist is playing, but the arms are coming from down here, not from back and down. Okay. So those of you who are music people, Darren, you're going to find that odd, really weird. But watch Humoresque, because it's not only a fantastically strong and beautiful movie, man, the wind and the rain is going crazy. I'm so happy to be out here. I can just hear it. It's making me all snuggly and happy. But you'll love it, because back then you didn't have CG. You didn't have all the effects at your fingertips doing a computer. You had to do it practically, and you had to figure out this stuff, which is what makes it so super wonderful. Yeah. So, I highly recommend that you check some of these movies out where they weren't able to do what we can do today, and see how they handled the challenges. That's why I love these movies. Humoresque is one of them. So I really would have liked to have had, monumental movies along the road, not, not effects. Okay. Just didn't do it for me. So I agree with you, Darren. I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. Morning. Sorry I'm a bit late. Joe, you're never late. I got some strong opinions about what went on last night. Well, you feel sure I'm going to stay with you guys today. You go ahead and share them. Okay. Okay. Wow. Those were interesting Oscars, said Janny. Yeah. But what's the first thing that everybody started to talk about is not, you see, that's what's so sad. When I was doing my thumbnail last night, and I had to wait till after the Academy Awards because I wanted it to be a little specific, I acknowledge that some really strange things happened there, but I didn't want that to be the thing that I said. I don't want you to click on this a million times because I've got some clickbait title. Okay. You've got tons of people out there, guys, that will do that. But I wanted you to know that I'm heartbroken, and I know Will Smith is too, that he did what he did last night. I know he's regretting it. He's a good, I've done a couple films with him. So, he's a lovely person, and it's just a shame that he lost his head. But we do lose our heads. We just shouldn't have struck. And I really hope the Academy didn't put that there so that would be a memorable show. I just don't think that was cool if that was the case. I hope I'm wrong. Yes, Janny, I agree with you. His was personally selected for him by Donatella Versace. Are we talking about Shang-Chi? The actor for Shang-Chi, and the outfit that's several sizes too small? Because I'm sorry, guys, it ain't working. No, it ain't working. It ain't working. And the shoes aren't working either. Well, the shoes are good. But no. He's a very handsome fellow. He could have gotten an outfit that fit. I'm just saying. Angie says, I agree. A little more cover-up would not hurt. This overall, I think overall in the world, people are wearing less. I was shocked at the Universal pool, how many people had G-string swimsuits. Yeah. Not a lot left to the imagination, is there? And then this person, if somebody says something a bit inappropriate, right, they get angry. Forgive me, I need a little air. They get angry. And so I've never understood that. If you don't have to dress like a nun. But understand that when some of these provocative outfits, and these were lovely outfits, it's just they needed a little more, because I spent the time worrying that these women were going to fall out of these things. They leaned forward a couple of times. They turned sideways, and we knew only the very important parts were covered. And I was like, come on, ladies. And then you're going to get mad because the guy is looking here, not here. I mean, you're asking, and I'm not saying you're asking for it. You're not asking for it, but it does draw attention there. I couldn't help myself. I was so concerned that if they turned a certain way, they were going to fall out, and we were going to have a whole nother Academy Awards because of that. Because you get excited. You're jumping up and down. The body moves. You want to have something you don't have to worry about falling out of or constantly adjusting. So I really thought it wasn't a good choice. I thought you could have done a lot better. And if they're not perky, it also accents the downward pull of your lovely girls. So, and you're very beautiful women. So why would you do that to yourself? I just didn't think it was a good idea, Angie, and I agree with you. The hosts are nice people, but they're not especially funny. They were not. The skits were a huge waste of time and energy. They were. And were especially gregarious given the short shrift given to 8 categories of not the short end of the stick. We much rather have seen the categories than the host, right? They don't need to be funny. They don't need to riff. I don't feel they need to entertain. Just be the bridge through which actors travel. Oh, wasn't that amazing? Didn't you just love what isn't Billie Eilish something? Seeing how happy she was about winning the award. We love that here. Whatever. You don't necessarily have to do anything else because the skits were absolutely poorly acted, poorly performed. And I agree with you, Joe. A waste of time. They were exhausting. And, some of the things that were said were not cool. So I agree with you on that one as well. Evan says Timothy Chalamet's outfit surprised me at first because he wasn't wearing a shirt, but wasn't complaining because I have a crush on him. Too much information, Evan. You are too much. You are too much. You're cracking me up. We all have crushes, I guess, right? Christopher Walken, unfortunately, wasn't in the house. Sabrina says, so happy Coda won. I haven't been able to watch it yet, but I know anything Marlon gets her hands on is phenomenal. It's true. Marley is very, very good. There's a couple of things she's done I haven't really liked. And it's just because, you can't love everything that a person does. Well, I guess you can, but as Sabrina Palou says she does. But she really is a lovely person. And in this one, she's fabulous. She's absolutely fabulous. And they're all fabulous. And the director's fabulous. And I got a little tired of them all thanking the director, which is why I think this should go in Variety. We get that he's amazing, and I love him and he is amazing, but you all don't have to thank him. That is a fear thing for me. It feels like you're afraid that if you don't acknowledge the director, that you're not going to get the next job. That's what it feels like to me. So that's why I said, let every nominee thank all of the people you have to thank and then make it about the heart. Okay. And I just love those. Those were the ones I loved last night. The guy with the documentary, and I want to get it right, so I'm going to read it. But the Summer of Soul documentary, he was adorable, and he said, "I'll thank you guys properly in the after part when I get my." I'm just shocked that we won. I'm so touched that we won. I'm so grateful. Thank you, God. Thank you. And that's the kind of thing that I want. I want to hear what you're feeling, why you did it, why it's special, what does it mean, and do all of that stuff you have to do to acknowledge the others, and then they have it in print. My husband says they got to hear it on TV, but you hear it on TV, it's gone. We don't remember who they thanked. I've been watching it since I was 3. I don't remember who they thanked when I was 10 or 11 or 20 or 30. But if we collected those, I'd collect those varieties so I could go back and read who did this movie. And then they could put them up in their studios or wherever, in their homes or whatever, and pull them down and read it. It's in print. They can show it. Okay. It really works. It really, really, really works. And I'm not saying this, I'm not talking out of my hat here. I'm not talking out of my hat here. Let me show you. This is a daily variety of Ghostbusters. Okay, this shot of the Ghostbusters is the official thank you for all the names that were left off of Ghostbusters. It is a page out of the daily variety. Okay, and if you look near the top, Daily Variety. That is the newspaper of Hollywood. And then if you look in the middle here, you're going to see my name, Terri Hardin. Okay. I have that in print here to show you, bar none, that I did the film. So I'm not talking out of the top of my head. I'm saying the solution would be let every nominee thank who they want and who they feel, their directors, their producers, whatever, but they can do them by name. And then that person has it in print to keep with them, to hold. Like the costume designer for Cruella, she thanked her whole team. She said, if it wasn't for this one person who was going to help me head it up, I wouldn't have taken it. And the team that she brought with her. Well, if it was printed in the Daily Variety, they could each have that and say, and maybe you have a silhouette of the Academy Award behind it. And then there's all of that. It would be wonderful. And we would collect those things, would we not? So that way it doesn't have to feel like people are afraid every time they get up that they're going to miss somebody's name and they're going to catch heck for it. And they could just talk about how they feel about winning, because Ariana, who won for West Side Story, talks about the little girl sitting in the backseat of her parents' car and dreaming. That's the stuff we love to hear. That's what we want to hear. Okay. And I want them free to be able to speak their hearts. I think the length would be a little bit shorter. And also we would tune in because we want to know how their journey was. What's the journey? Wouldn't you like to? I mean, you don't want to watch some talk show and hear about it later. You'd kind of like to hear a little bit of a taste of it. I want to thank my agent who believed in me when I was on the stage in my high school or whatever, whatever the story is. We want that story. So that's my solution. I'm going to keep saying it. Bonnie, I've never heard of CODA before. My friend pointed out the billboard in North Hollywood Saturday and mentioned it was really good. I thought it had an interesting perspective. I'm telling you, you will really be touched by this movie. You will really love it. And the young girl who plays the lead has a gorgeous voice. She has a lovely voice. And it's just it's beautifully shot, beautifully directed, beautifully performed. All right. But the storytelling is what's really exciting. They took their time to really tell the story so that we could feel, not just see. We could feel it, right? We could feel it in the chest. That's why it's such a good movie. They didn't use effects. It was not a lot of icing on a cake that really wasn't that great. Okay? It was something that you really felt. And it wasn't pretentious. Problem with Power of the Dog is it feels just fake to me. It doesn't feel... I don't get it. I really don't get it. I think it's a lot of overacting, a lot of dull acting, not a lot of pulse in two of the leads. They're just blah. I'm not a Kirsten Dunst fan. No offense to her. She's a lovely girl, but I thought she was great in Hidden Figures, but they took her abilities and made that a role that she could play. And she did a great job with it because it felt like it was her. This is the actress. This is what she does. She's going to do great here. And she does great. It's underplayed. It doesn't need to be overplayed. It's played like she plays it. Way, way above a pulse kind of performance, as did her husband. And I'm just that movie was just I could have been doing laundry. It just was not my no, So I really thought it was a waste of my time completely. And I'm grateful to the Academy for not making it Best Picture of the Year. Thank you. Because it did not deserve it at all. Okay. Just didn't. It just didn't. I'm sorry. Did not like it at all. I mean, you know that because I keep saying it. I adore you. Thank you, Janny. You're so sweet. I can't wait till I can get up to Canada and do some stuff. I was happy, says Joe, for all those who won, except maybe Jane Campion. I would have preferred to see Kenneth Branagh win Best Director. Yeah, he was my vote too. But again, Jane, I think they gave it to her for her body of work, being a female director. they were saying, you know, what they all said is it's about time, and it's nice that it only took a year for someone else to notice a good female director. But I hope they didn't do it because she was a woman. You know what I mean? Because that movie wasn't that great. But I thought Kenneth Branagh did real well, and I was excited when he won for his screenplay. So I thought that was good. I had been rooting for Will, especially since his performance was excellent. But the other thing he did was shameful, understandable in a normal situation, but the Oscars are not a normal situation. Exactly. But it isn't understandable in a normal situation. No one should ever strike another person. Okay, when I was a kid, I did, but I warned you first. I said, if you're going to hit me, I'm going to hit you back. Okay, as a little kid, my parents said, don't hit anybody, but if they hit you, you can hit them back. You know, this is the way the animals work in the wild. The lion will hit them and they'll cuff them right back. Yeah, you know. So but I'm still, you know, you're on national TV. You're someone who is in an authoritative position. You don't want to send that out as a message. You know, it tainted the Academy Awards, and I know Will is sorry he did it. If he could take it back. The one thing I wish he had done is apologize to Chris Rock. I know it stuck in his throat. I could feel it when he started to talk. I know he was hoping that he could apologize to Chris Rock publicly, like he, you know, dissed him publicly, but it never happened, and I'm sorry it didn't. It's a painful thing to apologize when you know you've done something wrong, but that's a true leader, isn't it? So I wish he had done that. But Chris Rock is going to be crying all the way to the bank. All right. Every talk show, he'll talk about it because that's what Chris does. That's his comedian. I mean, you know, they knew the job was dangerous, and I think they set it up. I'm sorry, but that's what I'm feeling. Janice says they messed up the Bruno song. Yeah, I know, Janice. I know. And don't you just wish they had done it? They just played the soundtrack. I mean, I know they like to do it live, but it's so much better. It's so much better in Encanto. Maybe what it does is make you want to go see Encanto if you haven't seen it. So maybe they did a good job in that respect. But I agree with you. It was colorful. I loved to watch seeing all the colors, you know, because everything was kind of drab whenever they were showing the Academy Awards, and everything was kind of meh. So at least that was colorful and fun and wild and crazy. So Darren says, I was not impressed with the Bruno rendition. I was hoping for much more. Yeah, well, like the movie. Janice says, that's my opinion. A rap in the middle of the Oscars. Seriously, keep it about Bruno. Yeah, that my husband was like, where did that come from? Why are we doing that? You know, that's not the thing that won. Yeah, I was like, does everything have to be a rap? Do you think this is good? You know, Bruno wasn't Bruno the one that was number one, the one that reached to the top for the first time in a long time, an animated film song hit number one in the music circuit. So there's no, you know, why are you changing it? You know, where did you take that liberty? So I agree with you, Janice. I like seeing Reba. I don't know why they performed the Bruno song when it wasn't nominated. I know. Well, because it's like that stuff that they did where they asked you to tweet or type on Facebook or Instagram one of your favorite movie moments, and they all ended up being things with computer graphic effects. I was like, okay, barf. Because it's not a movie moment. That is a CG moment. So I was like, what? You know, I really didn't like that at all. So I think because Bruno hit the top of the charts, they decided to add it. You know, they're hoping that that's what would bring people in because they were so scared no one was going to watch. And from what I'm hearing, no one did. But maybe wish they had because they wanted to see the strike, you know. I wanted Lynn to get his EGOT, but I'm happy Billy won for Bond. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you, Evan. I felt the same, but then when Billy won, it was one of the best moments of the Academy because she was genuinely excited. She was so excited, her brother wasn't quite sure how excited he could get. You know, I think he was a little bit excited, but she was the exuberance for them both. But it was just lovely to see them. They were just both smiling and so happy. And that's what we want to see at the Academy Awards and hear what they have to say. You know, she's such a lovely, she has such a beautiful voice, and she's such a lovely person. And she's so different from her brand. Her brand is, usually has the hair over the eye. She's kind of like this. She has the hair, and then she has kind of that sleepy, kind of this kind of look when she looks up at you. And it's kind of like, but that wasn't her last night. She was not that person. So she's obviously been taught very well that you have a brand and you have you. And that way you're not, you can keep the two. You can protect the Billy that is our sweet, gregarious girl and let her out when you need to. But when you go out on stage, you can be the thing that the fans all love and respect. When I did the Rocky Horror Picture Show, I played Magenta, and a couple of people wanted to take me out on a date. And when they found out I didn't have red hair and that I was pretty, not quite so free with myself, they were disappointed because they wanted to date Magenta, and that was my character, not me. So all of a sudden, they acknowledged that I was a really good actress by not dating me again because I wasn't Magenta. So Billy really let me see this adorable, young, sweet person when she was absolutely shocked that she won. And that was special to me. That was very special. I loved that. That was one of my favorite moments, was when she won, and her brother. Loved Billie Eilish and Phineas. Both are so talented, and I enjoyed weeing them, sincerely appreciative, and enjoyed their special moment. Yeah, they just were great. And they were shocked. They were both genuinely surprised that they won, which means they had great respect for everybody else in the categories. And all these actors do. They respect everybody. And they, honestly, they go, wow, to choose, I don't want to be the one picking. And I agree. Linda Rolls is in the house. Hi, Linda. There you are, Stephen. Eilish's song was great. Great termination for this particular Bond cycle. Yeah, this Bond cycle, my husband says, is just, he doesn't like the way Bond is cycling. Actually, he thinks, your favorite Bond, they didn't even give, there are some Bond tributes that we've seen that are shorter and so well edited that you go, oh, I got to see that. Oh, and this one was kind of meh. So my husband, who is an award-winning producer and editor and production designer, just goes, he doesn't want an Academy Award. Don't get me wrong. He's won some Emmys and won some Golden Mics and things like that. But he just thought that they were like, Alopecia is an autoimmune disorder. Yes. And she said it's making her lose her hair. And honestly, I didn't know this because I don't really delve in the backgrounds of people. I like them as actors. I don't need to really know their backstory unless they do a documentary about themselves and they want to share. I don't spend my time digging into all that gossipy stuff. But she just looks so beautiful. And I honestly, I wouldn't have known if Chris Rock, even when Chris Rock made this comment about her and G.I. Jane, I didn't know about the disease. My husband looked it up and said, this autoimmune disorder that she has. He told me that's what she has. And I really felt like she just looked beautiful. If you can rock a bald head and you're a woman, I think it's a great look. And just think of the time you save styling your hair. And she just looked gorgeous. She has the facial structure and and a beautifully shaped head. So I didn't even give it a second thought. And so even when Chris Rock made the joke, and then I saw her face fall, I knew that she was offended. And I think if they had both just laughed it off and then walked in and said something to him privately, it would have been better. It wouldn't have been, because that's what the Academy Awards is all about now. If you just Google it, it's going to go up. It's not going to be about the winners. It's about this incident. And I'll bet you Will is really regretting it. And as much as he defended it, and I'm grateful he defended it, because if you didn't address the gorilla in the room, that would have been terrible. is, you've got this big thing hanging over you, this horrible atmosphere. It put a real damper on the rest of the evening, and everybody didn't know how to react. If you watch the incident where they got mad, you can see the people around being shocked. In fact, one of them got their phone out that was up in the balcony. They got their phone out and they were filming the two people talking with Will in the commercial break about how he needed to be when they came out of the commercial break, because they went right to commercial, and it was the three of them downstage, and he couldn't get in because he couldn't see who the other people were, but it was Will, the comedian that came out sort of in Can We All Just Get Along, and then someone else. It wasn't Chris. It was not Chris. So it was real. During the commercial break, they were trying to put out a small fire, hoping it would not catch fire. And they talked about how they were going to, be a smoke in the bear and put it out. So, but it's a drag. It's an absolute drag that it happened. I'm just telling you, it just made it about that and nothing else. I lost my respect for Will when he slapped him. That's not how we handle things. And now the whole show is about him. I would not personally have given him a standing ovation after that. No. I think the actors have all been in a situation where you've had to make that split decision. And knowing Will, I know that he just kind of lost his head, but there's no excuse for the slapping. This is why you check your texts and your emails. You look them over before you send them, because sometimes what you think you're saying is good is not good. So you read it 3 times before you send it. So it sounds, because you're not there, they're not seeing your face. But just your expression after Chris Rock did it really told it all, that you weren't happy. You should have just left it there and moved on. And then say, oh, he's going to get a talking to later. That would have been all it is. And it would have been about the Academy Awards. But shoulda, coulda, woulda, it's a very tense situation. But there's no excuse for the slapping. You're right, Angie. It's my understanding that Chris Rock neither ad-libbed nor wrote that joke about G.I. Jane 2. It's possible that the writer who wrote it and Rock were not aware of her alopecia. I wasn't. Millions of people weren't. Rock seemed genuinely surprised that Will was so angry. Yeah, no. They have been having challenges, these two men, for some time. My husband researched it. And he did the joke, but he didn't do it the way he did it on the night. Okay? He rehearsed it differently than he did it in the night, as I understand it. And he really didn't think, because he did that first rehearsal. Okay, let's say you do the joke. And let's say you did the joke in rehearsal. And let's say you just put a different, you spoke it differently, you laughed after, you did something that set the actor off. And they come out and they slap you. I don't care how many times you've rehearsed, you don't expect someone to come up and hit you. And he went for the face. So of course he's going to be startled. He's going to be startled. It was real. And you can tell it was real because the people cut the audio. He cut the audio. And then Will didn't let it stop. He said swear words, and he said it twice. And people pull back from that. They don't like confrontation. So they didn't say anything. Even his wife couldn't calm him down at that time. But then once they go to commercial break, they have this conversation with him, and he's like, I know, wow, what did I do? Hindsight being 2020, you want to take it back. And it would have been nice to have recorded a little bit ahead and then shown it a little bit later and not shown it. But they, because sometimes this stuff is ahead, so you can catch the swear words if somebody gets a little bit exuberant and swears, right? You can cut it out. So that's why I'm saying I think they put these two actors together, maybe secretly hoping, I hope that's not the case, that there might be a little something so people will go back and watch, because this is why they're going back and watching, I'm sorry to say. This is why. I heard during rehearsal they approve all the jokes. Anyone know if that's true? Kind of they do. Kind of they do. Yeah, because they don't, we were thinking, want this to happen. But they were saying a lot of money was riding on this viewing. Not a lot of people were going to watch, blah, blah, blah. ABC was nervous. So what do we think? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What do we think? The joke wasn't really funny, however. Will Smith acted inappropriately, simply the wrong time and place. Absolutely, Richard. But I'm wondering if somebody thought you put two bull elephants in the room and see what happens. It could be good fodder for later, and everybody's talking about it. They're doing exactly what... And poor Will, in this case, losing his head and striking. And they asked Chris backstage if he wanted to press charges, and he said no. And everybody said, well, that's big of him. He's going to take this all the way to the bank, as I said before. Yeah, that's not big of him. That's that marketing mind. Yeah, he'll have that on every talk show in America. And the thing that's got Will at... Will can't say he can't talk about it. He's allowed to talk about it, you know? And so there you go. If this was a deliberate situation by Will Packer and his production team, they need to lose their jobs. Well, again, I don't think they'll admit to it, but to me, that's what it felt like. There is a history between these two men, and you get to pick your presenters, okay? And I just wonder. That's all I'm saying. Adam says the worst part is that this will affect both their careers. This will affect producers, the audience participation of both men, and it's a shame no matter which side you choose. If you even choose a side, you are absolutely right. You know, if you come out and support what Will did, you're going to have a challenge, you know, because no one should strike anybody. And you can't let yourself get that far. But there are times, you've got to pull back. You know, I can remember an incident where my mother was striking my dad when they were fighting just before the divorce. And my father balled up because he was not going to strike my mother under any circumstance, even though she was hitting him. You know, he would not, but we as children were pulling her off. It was rough, but my dad would not under any circumstance ever. So, so that's kind of, luckily Chris is not a woman, but still he should not have been hit. I don't care how annoying. Good Morning America said it didn't air live. Good Morning America said it didn't air live. I was not watching, but I wondered if it was or not for all areas. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Channels, when they do it, they have it a little bit ahead. Okay, they're taping a little bit ahead so they could cut it out. Why didn't they cut it all out and say, we had an incident, we're sorry? And then Japanese television, actually showed it with all the audio. You can find it with the audio to hear exactly what he said, but we can lip read. So we knew what he said. There was no denying what Will Smith said twice, but they could have cut it, is what my opinion is. They probably could. And if what they're saying on Good Morning America is that in some places it didn't air at all, but it aired. Yeah, it just was silent. The guy cut off the sound, and Chris stood there for a minute and listened to Will scream what he did twice at Chris Rock, and Chris Rock said, okay, all right. Now my husband says power to Chris Rock for just moving on, not because Chris, this is the time that he really could have had a field day, and he didn't. He chose to just keep moving, and unfortunately looked like the bigger person, which is surprising because Chris Rock, there are times he's not looking like the bigger person, but this time he did. And so, I'm telling you, talk shows all over are going to be having him on. They may already have been booking him. So he's like, no, marketing mind. I think you're right. Thank you, Janny. I appreciate that. We didn't watch the awards and haven't for several years, but I agree it was a sad situation and shouldn't have happened. Janet, did you Google to see the incident? And you don't have to answer that. But if you did, this is why I think that the Academy Award team kind of was hoping something like this would occur. And if it wasn't live and they showed it anyway, you be the judge. Adam says, and what most people do not understand is that both parties are to blame for their actions. Chris shouldn't have said it what he said, but likewise, Will shouldn't have crossed the line, especially on camera. The thing is, we know Chris Rock. Chris Rock is Don Rickles, the young, the young Don Rickles. He roasts everybody. This is what Chris Rock does. He pokes sharp needles into people. And sometimes it hits a nerve, but you got to be ready, because that's what happens when someone is poking you. You have to be the bigger person. You're going to go, ha, ha, ha. And then you go backstage and you go, Chris, you crossed the line there, buddy. And we're all going to say the same thing. Okay. Anybody that knew about Jada's ailment challenge would have said, whoa, low blow. They would have said, whoa, Chris, come on. That's hitting below the belt. But we didn't have a chance to do that because he got slapped, and that was just not cool. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. The Academy knows Chris, and he knew that they were having trouble. So did you put them there and you let Chris add a little spice to that joke because maybe it was going to do just what it did? I hope not. I hope not. I don't want those tactics to start to be the thing that happens in the Academy Awards. You don't need that. Just make it about story. That's what a movie is, a good story. So make it about story, and we'll watch it. You won't need to resort to that if that's what you're thinking. You won't need to resort to smarmy performances by hosts. You won't need to have less than impressive dance routines and presentations. You can just make it about the people, their awards, and their story about what this means to them. I actually loved Kevin Costner's speech that he did about directors. I just thought it was great. I thought it was really good. And I was not a Kevin Costner's fan until Hidden Figures. I just really thought the people around Kevin Costner were more interesting than Kevin Costner's choices. But lately, Yellowstone, he's been amazing. And in Hidden Figures, he was phenomenal. He's like a fine wine. He's really, really aged well. And his work is just wonderful now. I'm loving what I'm seeing from him. And I thought his speech was excellent and very well said, and just, it was awesome. It's awesome. Just awesome. So, and none of them, because they're professionals, talked about the incident. They buried it as quickly as possible. Now, they may have talked about it after off camera, but see, you're trained to do this. Will is trained to keep it in check. Okay. Sidney Poitier himself said, you got to watch out. You are a representative of your brand. And when I met Sidney Poitier, he said that was the main thing as an actor. If you're going to get aggressive or you're going to be angry, you got to be like the fairies in Sleeping Beauty, plug up all the holes, don't forget the chimney, and then you do your rants, okay? You don't do them in public. Too many people have cell phones. You have to represent the acting brand because you are a leader. You are respected because you are a celebrity and someone they admire. So you have to always, you always have to keep yourself in check, and it's not easy, but you've got to do that. You have to have those roadblocks up so that you are the best professional you can be. Because when that happens, like you said, it can come crumbling down. So it's tough. It's very tough. Sabrina says, I'm not buying it. Chris Rock even did a whole film about black hair. So whether he specifically knew Jada suffering from alopecia or not, he should have fully understood how such a joke could have such an effect. And it's probably why he said it. If they're having trouble previous, go back and watch some Don Rickles, guys. Don Rickles wasn't loved by everybody, and he left no stone unturned. He said some really straight up stuff, as did Chris. Okay, this is their job as a comedian. This is the job, the path they've chosen. Poke, 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 poke. And I honestly, like I said, if they would have just let their reaction happen and let him go on, some people laughed, some people didn't. He would have said, oh, that fell like a lead balloon. And people would have said, not cool. You realize she has this challenge. How could you do that? Then it would have been all on Chris if Will hadn't acted the way he did. You realize that, right? Yeah. Yeah. I think Will does too. I think Will was like, yeah, what did I just do? Rock thought he was at the Improv. Smith thought he was at the Source Awards or a club. Both men were in the wrong, and I think both men should have their Academy memberships revoked. See, this is the stuff. It gets real strong here, you see? I don't think it should be revoked, but they need a talking to. And again, why did the Academy air it? That's my question. Okay. I think they could have done some stuff. That's what I'm frustrated about. Okay. So, Joe, I disagree. I don't think they should have their memberships revoked, but they do need to know that it wasn't cool, but I think they do. I think they're very clear. I know that Will tried to fix it. But how sad you got to try and fix something when you're accepting your Best Actor award that you've been dreaming about all night. I mean, that's a serious ouch, in my opinion. Let Smith know his Oscar. He earned it, but both men should be banned for life from the Academy Awards. They dragged the Oscars into the gutter with childish nonsense. Yeah, it went into the gutter. It really did. But I think that it was a real sensitive, sore wound, and they may have been put together in the hopes that the wound would ignite. I don't think that the Academy wanted to do tonight to ignite to that level, but my husband says when it bleeds, it leads. So you be the judge on that, yeah? Johnny says about the Will Smith issue, I think emotions were high, but it still wasn't right. You know, emotions are high. It's just that it would have been one thing if they were two hosts, okay? It's still not right. But two hosts by, and he went bap, because you're right next to each other. But he had to walk that whole, he was close, but he still had to walk up, pull back, and do it, okay? You get the decision. So it wasn't premeditated, but he was angry enough that it propelled him that much further. And I just he would have checked the hit. He just would have, and then something inside said, stop. And he dropped it. And he said, not cool. And he walks away. That would have been a lot stronger, hindsight being 2020. The strike is what really caused the whole thing to be a mess. And I disagree. I don't think they should be banned, but they do need to be sat down and talked to, and then if the Academy has any hand in it, they need to be sat down and talked to as well, because I was suspicious. I got to be honest with you guys. I was suspicious. I was feeling like, they could have not shown that. When they cut the sound off, they should have went to commercial. Okay, that's what I think they should have done. They went to commercial after. Why didn't they go to commercial when Will Smith walked up? And then they could have said, oh my goodness, we had an incident, moving on, and we wouldn't have seen it. Now, we probably would have been digging it out on Japanese television, who managed to get the audio. But many of us wouldn't have. And then we'd have been, oh my gosh, whoa. It would, but us, it just, no. So I think there's a lot of people at fault here, honestly. I agree with you about Chris and Will. I've been watching the Academy Awards with my mom since I was a kid too. Yeah. And they could have gone to commercial. Why didn't they? If it bleeds, it leads, says my husband. So here's Holly. Holly says, I was watching. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on the night, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah. Well, you're not watching this channel because I have no opinion. I don't sit here and stare at you it's okay. I'm a good interview when it comes to that. Bob Burdine says, I understand. It's like putting two predators in a room, and one with words and the other physically. No one has the right to hurt anyone, especially in that situation. And the Academy knows Chris Rock. I know Chris Rock. I don't follow Chris Rock because forgive me, because I don't like people poking fun at other people. Don't like it. It's not my thing. Okay? I think, when you're teasing, how teasing can go south. That's a perfect example. How you're laughing, ha 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 ha, ha at them, poking, ha ha ha, and the next minute it goes south. You're teasing with your spouse, and you do this kind of poke fun at each other. The next thing you know, you're in an argument. You're angry at each other, and you're holding a grudge. I don't like this kind of stuff. Okay, I don't like it. I don't like that poke fun at people kind of humor. So I don't even follow Chris Rock. I don't find him funny. I didn't find Don Rickles funny for the same reason. But those comedians are known for that type of humor, and people watch it for that type of humor. So why did you make him a presenter when you knew there was anger between these two men? If it bleeds, it leads. It's a question, not a statement. It's a question. Did you do that, Academy? Did you hope this was going to happen? And now you're happy because the show is being watched and might catapult you to another year instead of thinking of something a little less chaotic? I don't know. I would like to think no. I don't want to think that about the Academy. I love the Academy. Adam says what's scary also is that they're going to mention this now and for all the wrong reasons. Yes, they are. This is it. If you Google Academy Awards, this comes up first. If you go on YouTube, you look at all of the last night after you look at all the people, and they have 20,000 followers, 103,000 100 views, 20,000 views, 150,000 views, 256,000 views, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of views, because people are like, what happened? What? Guess what happened? They tweet. Guess what happened? What? Just like lemmings. And now everybody's got to watch the rest because maybe something's going to happen again. Let's watch. It did what it was supposed to do, guys. That's the thing that's so sad. It did exactly what was wanted. Everybody is talking about the Academy Awards now for the wrong reason. Yes, Adam, absolutely. Janice says, same here. I was like, what are the pasty-on dresses? Yeah, God, it's just so sad. Oh, those dresses. Leave a bit more to the imagination. You were right. Couldn't focus on the faces. And we, you, many of you have pointed out that these are designer outfits. Okay. And just because it's a designer outfit, if it doesn't fit you, don't wear it. Okay. If it is, what is this? Spoons here? Dinner plates? What are you, the Kung Fu Panda? You don't want something that we're so worried that it's going to fall off or you're going to twist and something is going to show that you shouldn't. Just don't do it. And you don't have to be dressed like a nun, but if you look at Marley's dress, she was stunning. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. And then, Jessica Chastain's dress looked like a princess, that rainbow. And then was it I don't think it was the director, but the person who was, maybe it was the director, the person dressed like a mirror ball. I thought the mirror ball was beautiful. Okay, head to toe mirror. And she said, this is probably why I'm dressed like a mirror ball. I just thought it was beautiful. She had the figure for it. And it was all sparkly. The lights hit it. And she was just like, the cameras were going off, and it wasn't. It was just all the different lights as she walked up. She was just sparkles, sparkles, sparkles. I thought it was gorgeous. I thought it was gorgeous. She looked beautiful. She seemed to be able to move in it, which was great. There were some stunning outfits that were quite attractive that were not, there were a couple where the women, it was just, strapless, but it was very beautiful, very elegant, tight at the waist. You didn't have to worry about her going, yay, and popping out of it. And that was the thing with this. I just was like, they're going to pop out of this. This is what are you doing? So I was nervous. It made me nervous. It really made me nervous, as did the two girls. Here, beautiful tennis women who could have any designer design anything for them that they wanted. And it was like way out here. I was like, my goodness, do you have tape there holding it so it doesn't open if you should move? Anyone who's in costuming knows these are challenges. So I'm sorry. No, just because you're a designer and you're a top designer, if your designer is telling you to wear that, you need to get a different designer. Okay. Cause that, You guys ever watch Project Runway? Nina Garcia would not approve. Okay. And Nina's one of the biggest, people in the industry, in my opinion. And she tells it like it is. And I don't think she would have found that very interesting either. I don't think she'd be saying, wow, how incredible. And then usually actors don't want to be wearing similar dresses, and everybody's wearing red, like there was a sale on the bolt of red. So and newspapers going, stunning Scarlet, stunning Scarlet shelters the Academy Awards or smashes the Academy Award. And I'm looking at it like, yeah, there was a sale on red fabric. So I wanted more creativity. I always do. The ladies all were taped into their dresses in these award shows. No need to worry. Yeah, but that doesn't matter, Ava. Those dresses were ugly. Those outfits were ugly. Those outfits made it about us worrying about the outfits, okay? They were not Vegas showgirls. They were at an Academy Award show, and I don't need to be worrying about whether they're going to fall out or not, okay? If you listen to, one of my favorite movies is Psycho, okay? Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. And she talks about when she dies in the shower, that she was laying on the shower and she was told by Alfred Hitchcock, she had to shoot this several times. She had to hold her eye open, which I always find absolutely amazing, but she could not move because of the way the camera had to be used to shoot this. She could not move, and she began to feel the moleskin that was covering the parts that weren't allowed to be shown as it started to lift off. And in her mind, she was keeping her face perfectly still, praying the moleskin was not detached. And finally, she said, the hell of it with it. I'm not moving. I'm not doing this again. And luckily, he got the shot and she was able to adjust. But that's what I'm talking about. Moleskin is great, but don't be dependent on moleskin to hold up an entire dress, right? Just don't. Sabrina says, I will give Amy credit as a host for her transition out of the Chris and Will moment, though. That, whoops, sorry, I was changing. Did I miss something? Was a good way to shift out of that. Yeah, I think Amy did well, and I think that's exactly what they were hoping that she would do. But I really don't think attention needed to be any more on it. I would have just kept going. I would not have done anything. I would just would have kept going. I say this a lot on this channel. Don't focus on the hate or the anger or the issue. Just keep going. It doesn't need more airtime. It's got plenty. So that's kind of what I'm feeling. I think what makes it worse is that Jaden Smith, Will's son, tweeted, and that's how we do it. I'm not sure why that bothers me so much, but it does. Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is the anger coming through. That is kind of defending his father. This is how we do it. Well, I don't want to know your whole family. This is how you handle stuff. If you're constantly striking each other and beating each other up or hitting people, if this is your go-to because this is how you do it, then I don't want to hear that, kid. I don't think you meant it that way. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, but you're not helping your dad by saying that's how we do it, because everybody's going to go, what do you mean? So anytime someone says something that insults you, you hit them? Really? I don't think that's what you wanted to say about your father. Will Smith is an amazing person, and I don't want to think that the first thing he does is go to blows. The reason it happened is because this is how he does it. You see what I'm saying? No. This is why it bothers you, Richard, because that's how we do it is not a defense. It's an embarrassment. The first half hour was terrible. I know, painful, wasn't it? That's why I record it and tune in an hour later, put it at the beginning so I can fast forward through all the garbage. except for Ariana DeBose's win. Yes, the second half hour was better. The cleavage was excessive, and you like cleavage. Yes, Joe. I know where you were looking, Joe. You've just proved my point. Yeah. Yeah. Can you tell me if they were wearing lipstick or not? No. Okay. The hosts were not funny. Yeah, they weren't. They weren't. Joe, you proved my point. Thank you. House of Mario. I love you, Joe, but you did prove my point. Holly says, I love Amy and Wanda, but I thought the whole bit with Regina and the COVID test was gross. Don't know how that got approved. Exactly. That whole COVID test cut that. Oh, yeah. Oh, I played it back because I reacted so violently to it. Like, that I played it back because I just couldn't believe it. Both camps, guys. I thought it was very respectful to the men. And you don't want men to disrespect women. Don't disrespect men. Okay? Don't swim in those waters because you think you can get away with it. And I don't know who's responsible for it, but it was offensive to me. Because I don't think that I don't like that kind of behavior in either camp. But we have to respect each other. And a man has every right for you not to be behaving that way with him. It was terrible on camera. What were those three guys going to do? Of course they act like it was okay, but they were very uncomfortable and the audience was very uncomfortable. It was not good. It was not good. And you know who's going to really catch hell for it is the host that said it. It's like she came up with it. No, somebody wrote it. And that's what I'm talking about. But she's going to catch it. Why would you say such a thing at a time when? Yeah. I agree with you, Holly. Sounds like an inappropriate night all the way around. I know. And why? Why was this written? Unless they were wanting to give you that controversy, that conflict, that we're walking the line here. Check us out because we're edgy. Yeah, no, you don't need to be edgy. You just have to be about people's stories. I mean, simple. People's stories. They tell the story, okay? They tell a story. Summer of Soul, he told his story, and we loved it. Billie Eilish she showed her genuine appreciation for being selected on that song. We loved that bit. The story from Ariana, we loved it. Okay? Ariana talking about how she felt. Talking about how she felt blessed. We loved it. Okay? We love the story. What got you here? Why did you keep going? This is a hard business. Talk to me. Tell me what it feels like to finally get something that celebrates your work. Okay? Even the director of the dog movie, okay? The dog of a dog movie, all right? Her acceptance was lovely, okay? She had to read it, and I'm thinking, you didn't think you were going to win when everybody said this movie was the big one? You got to read it? You're a director. Why do you have to read it? I think you could have spoke from your heart there. I feel that way. I just think you could. You're a director. You could do it. And I was looking, just wanted to address her properly. I'm looking in my list. And the order was weird too. But yeah, the director for Power of the Dog, she her speech was read, and I wish she didn't read it. I know how she felt because she wanted to acknowledge people. Again, she's got to work for a living too. And I just don't like that. That feels like fear to me. I'm afraid if I don't mention every single person, blah, 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 that I'm going to get And that's what it feels like to me. I don't know if it is like that the way they actually do, but that's what it feels like to me. And I would like the variety to do it in print so I can collect them. I can read who the people are, and I can keep that. And then everybody has it in print. Everybody can buy one. I really think Variety's sales would go up, or online. Okay. It doesn't have to even be in print. It can be online, and you can download it or whatever. I don't know. I just think they could do a collector's edition and everyone would grab it. And then it would be about the story, like it was really early in the Academy Awards, okay? They would acknowledge their director or someone that they work with, but it wasn't all that. It wasn't the whole thing, and we didn't get to hear about it, Sidney Poitier said, he said, I realized I represented Black men in the business getting good roles, okay? And this is a big responsibility, so... It felt like an SNL skit that went far way too long. Yeah, Evan. And when you think it's a Saturday Night Live skit that went too long, you got trouble. You got problems. Yeah, because not everybody loves the new Saturday Night Live. Okay. And they don't want it to be a skit. They don't want it. People tune into Saturday Night Live for the skits that Saturday Night Live does, because that's what Saturday Night Live does. Okay. We want to see the stories of the people who are going to win. That's what we're there for. Plain and simple. Not a big deal. It's like a Godzilla movie. You don't need to make it about the people, because we just want to see the monsters fight. We want to see Godzilla get Mechagodzilla or Mothra or whatever. We like to see rubber monsters duke it out, because we know they're going to come back in the next movie and be just fine. But we love them bouncing off of each other, floating, breathing fire, flying, buildings getting crushed, because we know later it's going to be fine. Okay, it's a fun, goofy movie. And we know it's a fun, goofy movie. And they own that they're fun, goofy movies. All right? So own, Academy, the fact that you're about story. Story, 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 story. Okay? And we want to hear the actors' story, their journey. That's what we tune in for. Let them speak their story. Let them say their truth. I thought that even with the tag, support the Ukraine was really wonderfully done. It didn't become completely political, but something that needed to be said. I'm fine with that. But please, we don't need hosts that behave this. They don't need to say, they don't need to be funny. Just introduce the next people. I love that song. They could say, oh, I love that song. That's cool. That's my feeling. That's my feeling. What did Joe say? There was too much of an attempt at entertaining, most of which failed miserably. I agree. Instead of getting the awards out and focusing on the films nominated. Yes, absolutely. Also, I didn't understand why they cut out 8 categories and they'll still included them in the broadcast. Well, they usually, with the costumes, have this area where they set them all up and they shoot the actual costumes themselves. Man, I love that when they did that. Oh, I love that. And we actually, it was kind of cheesy how they did it. And then I don't know. I wouldn't mind. I personally, I like hearing every single category. Okay. So I really wish they would have cut all that host garbage, fluffy blah stuff, and gave us the stuff that we are used to seeing. Again, story. Why were skater Tony Hawk, surfer Kelly Slater, and snowboarding Shaun White presenting at the James Bond? That was extreme. Joe, you know why. This is what was really barfy. This was so barfy. You introduce 3 influencers because they have a lot of followers on, and you're trying to get the young group because you're putting these influencers on, which to me is as smarmy as giving a Legends Award to the Kardashians, okay? They haven't done a Disney Legend Award to the Kardashians, but if you're trying to make your brand go further, that could be in the future. That would be terribly offensive to me. I like the Kardashians, but they've done nothing for Disney. These guys, I just thought, you got to be kidding me. My husband and I watched them and we're like, what? We just thought, and they seemed to be like, what? Why are we here? You know, it was so dumb. But they were big influencers. If you looked at any of their YouTube pages, you'll see they have millions of followers. So the Academy was hoping to reach out to some of their millions of followers. It's the same with those movie moments that people tweeted in, and all of them are effects driven. I was like, oh, bite me. These are not movie moments. These are a mess. You know, most of them were like, oh, come on. You know, they weren't great movie moments. The moments in the movies weren't even the best movie moments, you know? So it was just cheesy. And we see through it. You're as clear as glass, guys. We see through you. Stop grasping at things that make no difference, matter not to the Academy or movie people. Reach out and, you know, those guys, I remember looking at that and going, all right, now you really did it. So I'm with you, Joe. Yeah. Let's put the influencers in there. That'll work. Yeah, barf. Hey, cousin, enjoying your live chat, are you? Oh, thank you for that. I really enjoyed The Help. Yes, it's one of my favorite films. Yeah. As is Hidden Figures. I have those women on my wall. Those women from Hidden Figures that were hidden so long because they were Black people and they were Black women that were responsible for a lot. Responsible for getting us on the moon, guys. 3 women that it took over how many years to be told the story about these women because it was under wraps? Thank God they did it while they were alive. You know, celebrated them while they could still say thank you. But they really pushed it. And just wonderful women. And if you haven't seen Hidden Figures, this is the way you behave. When you're a person of color, you're a person that's got adversity. You just become the best person you do, and you swim in those waters because those waters are the law. But you swim in those waters, and then you make a change. And if you haven't seen Hidden Figures so you can see how they do it, and then read the book, okay, these women knew what the situation was. They knew there were women, and they knew certain situations were not going to change unless they changed them within the confines, within the area. Okay, I can't do this, and I can't do this, and I can't do this. What can I do? Okay, what is it I can do? And each woman does it differently. And they are women of color, women. And if you haven't seen Hidden Figures, write it down and watch it immediately, because it's another one that if you don't know what it's like to be a person of color, you're wondering what it's like, or you're wondering what it's like to be a woman who's a person of color in a time when the laws did not necessarily celebrate you, then this is a chance. They were the best people they could possibly be, and they just kept doing. When they saw an in to move forward and to do it with grace and elegance, they did it. So this movie is so special to me. I have these women are on my wall because this is what my father taught me. Be the best that you can be. Help people understand about you by how good you are. Okay, that's not succumbing under the thumb of the man. That's doing it peacefully, progressively, but accurately. Okay, so not easy being a leader. Okay. I love Jessica Chastain in The Eyes of Tammy Faye. I also loved her in Zero Dark 30. Zero Dark 30 was a movie I wasn't really that impressed by her in. However, my husband points out that she did a great job in it. She did. It just wasn't my cup of tea, that movie. But that was a good movie to see even a clip of her performing, because when you see her other things, and I highly recommend you watch her in The Help. She's amazing in that. She is absolutely adorable. And if you don't get why I love her, watch it again. Okay? Watch it a couple of times. You'll get it. She is amazing. And it kind of proves that bullies come in all colors, right? Yeah, she's just lovely. And she was wonderful in this movie. as was Andrew Garfield. He was good, except for my vote for him was Tick, Tick, Boom. It was wonderful to see Andrew Garfield be the husband, be the Tick, Tick, Boom guy, and then he was in a third one or something. That guy was busy, and man, you could put those three together, and he was excellent in each one. So he'll get an Academy. I mean, he's got it. It's coming. Joe says, I bet his mom is so proud of him dropping F-bombs on the worldwide TV. Well, she was knitting. I don't know if they were watching it. Yeah, they were watching it together. Yeah, she's going to have some words to him. She probably went, oh, honey. Oh, honey. Oh, sweetie. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. This is a black half of my family. Whenever I do something like that, they're like, oh, honey, come here. Sit over here. Let me put my arm around you and tell you what you really need to do, okay? What you really should have done. Let me help you. I love you. I understand. But now, let me tell you how you should have went down. Yeah, his mom's going to help him out for sure. Summer of Soul was phenomenal. Yes. But Sabrina, please watch that whole group. Okay, you really need to see Writing with Fire. You really got to see that. Writing with Fire is like unbelievable. I was really praying that might win. A Summer Soul was brilliant, don't get me wrong. But I really wanted that to win because it would have been a real shot in the arm for those women who are fighting for their lives every single day to tell the truth about their country. Yeah, it was just a beautiful, beautiful. But Flea was good. Attica was good. Ascension was good. That whole category, please watch it, guys. Give these documentary features some love because it's hard to do a document. Well, it's hard to do a movie, period. But these stories this was one of the strongest categories. I don't know how they picked. Hard to pick, difficult to pick. Bonnie says, I don't hate Will for doing what he did. Everyone has a tipping point. Everyone is human. Favors or not. Was it wrong? Yes. Was Chris wrong? Yes. But again, I just feel they were playing in the hands of the Academy. The Academy, it helped the people to watch the Academy, and I just wish they had been bigger than that. That's what I wish. And I'm sure Will wishes it too, that he had been bigger than that. Hindsight being 20/20, I know he wishes he was bigger than that. And I wish he was too. I do. I wish he was too. But unfortunately, they weren't. And now Chris is going to take it on every talk show in America. You gave him just what he wanted. And Will is going to spend a lot of time apologizing about it. And they're going to make it all about the fight, not about the award he won. I mean, he knew it. He was trying to make a speech that had a lot of good points. But everyone was thinking, dude, you should apologize to Chris Rock for striking him. Okay? You should have said, Chris Rock, I'm sorry. I misbehaved. You got to be accountable. And I know it was stuck. I could feel it in his throat when he was doing his speech. He just couldn't get the words out. He was so angry still at Chris. But he should have publicly said, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have behaved that way. I'm not sorry about your statement. You shouldn't have said what you said, but I shouldn't have reacted that way. We would have loved him for that. But you needed to say that. And that's hard. That's really hard because especially if there's history there. And there was history there. Yeah. Chris looks for the places he can get you because that's what he does. Oscars viewership rose Sunday when 15.36 million sets of eyeballs tuned into the 94th Academy Awards on ABC. The Regina Hall, Amy Schumer, Wanda Sykes hosted show was up 56% from last year in audience size per time zone, adjusted fast national numbers from Nielsen, and 68% in the ratings with the 3.2. Thank you, Leo. Was it before or after the strike? I'm just saying. When people say it's just a joke, always makes me cringe. I understand, but also no words can be serious damage. Exactly, Bonnie, which is why I don't do that humor that digs at people. That sarcastic humor. I don't like it. I don't like it, period. I don't like when people do it. I just let people know that's not where you're going to gain points with me, is sarcastic humor. It's not going to work because I don't buy into it because it can go south. So I nip it right away. But we do acknowledge that there are comedians that make a living from it. And we know that Chris Rock makes a living from digging, from poking you. Okay? And so did Will. Will knew that. Even if the joke was inappropriate, I really wish he could have had, I know he does too. He poor fella, Jiminy Christmas. He just wishes he had handled it differently. He's probably waking up today going, damn it. You know, why did I let him get to me? Because he kind of won, didn't he? The strike. Person who hits first is the loser. Yeah. And I know Will's not feeling good about it because it overshadows everything. It's the reason, which is why I asked Leo, was the viewership before or after the strike? You know what it is. People probably tuned in trying to see that. And that's really sad. Yeah, sad. Will Smith will once again be moving in with his auntie and uncle in Bel Air. Richard, you're terrible. I don't know that it's that bad, but he certainly is going to catch some flack. Jazz hands. Love seeing the audience cheer for Troy Koster that way. It was very affirming. Yeah. Yeah. And people like my husband said, why are they doing this? And I said, this is the way the deaf say, hooray! You know, congratulations. Hooray. Good for you. I like it. I like it because it's movement. I just thought it was beautiful. Me too. I understand the attempt to make the memoriam segment more like Black Church's homegoing funeral, but I didn't think it worked for the Oscars. A little more reverence is subdued, emotional is more. I just want him to fill the screen with it, okay, with a nice song, and you fill the screen and you get as many people in as you can. Okay, we lost a lot, and it was hard. They said you could go onto the Academy website and see the rest. But it was a lot, and it was just, and I didn't like they pulled way back, and and then it really shrank on your TV screen. So if you didn't have a football size screen, you were still going, what is it? Who is that? Because there's a lot of people they acknowledge that I don't know until they tell me who they are. I mean, we have the ones that we know, and ending in Betty White was wonderful. But, I wanted to know about everybody like you. I would have liked to have seen everybody who we lost. You certainly could have done that instead of the skits, much more important, to celebrate those who are gone up to heaven and collected their wings. Paul is in the house. Good morning, Terry. So many things I could say about the Oscars, but I'll stick to 2 things. It was pointless to cut those 8 awards from the live show since it was supposedly to cut the show to 3 hours and it went over anyway. Yes, you are correct. It always goes over because you cannot control an acceptance speech. And you always should allow more time for best actor, best actress, best supporting, best for supporting roles, director roles, and best picture people. You should allow more time for those bigger ones because a lot of times it involves more people. Or we want to know the story of the person who finally has been striving to get to where they want to get and they finally get there. Like who is it that was like a 4-time nominee, first-time winner or something like that? We want to know about that. What does that feel like? This is, I loved when I think it was Wanda Sykes walking through the Academy and they were showing all the Oscars and she says, oh, this is a replica of Meryl Streep's living room. And you go, that was cute. That was really cute. It was really well said. It was harmless, it was sweet, and it was true. Meryl Streep has a lot of Academy Awards. And you want to know how they feel. One of the questions we asked when we met Meryl Streep, we have these actor to actors thing. And we asked her, what does it feel like to keep winning these Academy Awards? And she says, every day is a celebration. I'm so grateful that my peers celebrate my work. It's an honor to win an Academy Award, and I never take it for granted. We want to hear that. I'm telling you, we would tune in for the stories. You don't have to gild a lily. You don't have to make it. You don't. And if young people don't get it, then young people don't get it. They will. Give them time. They'll come, they'll enjoy it because stories touch everybody. You never know what your story is going to do for someone else out there listening. I want to hear the story of someone who has a paper Oscar and they're standing in front of their little VHS recorder saying, "I'd like to thank the Academy," and they're 3. I'll never forget Jim Carrey telling the story of writing a check to himself for $1 million and putting it in his wallet so that every time he opened his wallet, he saw it. And then one day he was able to replace it with $1 million check. And it touched every single one of us who's in the entertainment industry's heart. It was special. It was sweet. It was endearing. And we want to hear that. We want to know about that. I kept the name of Hardin so that my father would always be able to be told that his daughter was talented. I love my husband, which is Jackson, but I'm Hardin Jackson because my father needs to continue to be acknowledged when somebody talks about my work. Your daughter is something. It makes my dad feel really, really good. When I did the Country Bears, I took my father to one of those multiplex theaters, and Country Bears was on 3 or 4 screens at the time. If you haven't seen it, I'm not hurt, but I played Trixie and Big Al. And I took my mom and dad. We went and we sat in a row that was comfortable for them, and we waited for it to begin, and I made sure they had whatever they wanted. My mother loves licorice. My dad likes popcorn. So we had it all set up, but my dad disappeared. And I was like, where the heck is my dad? And I'm looking at my watch and I'm going, where did he go? What? He's going to miss the opening. I have this thing about people missing even the previews at a movie. You have to be there when the lights go down. I'm just that way. I'm just squirrely that way. And so I was really getting worried about my dad. And just before the lights went down, my dad flew into the seat, went like this and said, "Oh, I saw your credits already 3 times." My father had gone to all the other theaters that were wrapping up the Country Bears to read his daughter's credit at the end of Country Bears. So these are the stories we like to hear. Okay. I loved hearing that Will Smith's mom wasn't there because she had a knitting circle she works with. I just was so touched by that. Because a mom or a dad is going to really keep you in your place. You need to come down from that big headism. You think when you're all that and you should be given the ticket because you are who you are. Do you know who I am? If you open with that, go talk to your mother or someone who's related to you. They'll bring you down real fast. They'll make you realize you put your leg on your pants one leg at a time. Come down from that. You're not so great. Clean up your room. Your parents are going to be that, Lord love him. And I just thought that was adorable. I thought his mom, when he said that about his mother, I just thought that was seriously cute and adorable. Made me want to meet his mom, actually. But that's what I'm talking about, okay? The stories, those little tidbits, your kids that knew that you had something that you needed to say and they helped in any way they could. Yes, they'd rather play catch with their dad or go on an excursion with their dad, but their dad has got this message that he has to get out, and he's a film director. And I love you guys for supporting me so that I could go do this art that I really am compelled and need to do. You want to hear that, okay? You want to hear that. And someone breaks down when they look at their husband and they want to thank their husband, and they just fall apart because they're so grateful. They're so grateful at the support that they're having, especially if the person is not an actor or not in the business. So this is what we love. This is what we love. And so you don't need to do the smarmy skits, the silly things. You don't need to do it. Just give them time to just give us a little taste of the story. And then do something else where they can thank the people they need to thank to get work the next time. I get it. I'm in the business. And then they can just tell their story on camera. If you're going to cut something out, cut that thank you to every aunt and person that happened. Put it in print because it's important. I'm not saying it's not important, but put it in print. So then they can read it over and over again and they can show it. They can frame it. Look, Look how many people thanked me. 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't have to try and see it on the playback. This is my solution. This is what I think you should do. So then the person can relax. There's enough tension, enough. And then you're trying to, you bring out these lists because you got to read the names. You don't want to mispronounce the names. You don't want to miss a name. You don't want to skip a name, And then the woman who won for Parasite last year, Parasite, I believe. No, for Midori, said her name was pronounced wrong. So obviously people have tension because they don't want to do that. They don't want to, but she brings it up in this one, and then she says, look, here's karma. Now I've got to pronounce your name, and there you go. Okay. So that way it's in print and you wouldn't need to, nominating, you're not going to have much luck, but you can do the best that you can do, Paul says, my second thought was Disney probably wishes they nominated Bruno for best song. It probably would have won instead of Billie Eilish's song. Well, maybe. Bruno was popular. It was a very popular song. It was very easily sung. It had a nice rhythm. It makes you move. That's what I loved about it. There's so many songs in that film that make you move. That's just beautiful. But by the same token, I don't know if the people who did the song for Encanto, in fact, I'm going to just go out on a limb here and say they wouldn't have done an acceptance speech like Billie Eilish did with her brother. That was just that was so touching and so special. And I'm glad she won because I loved her. I loved hearing her story. I loved hearing her thank you. I loved hearing how darling she was. She just was darling. And she was wonderful. Just love her. Just love her. I understand why Disney didn't nominate Bruno. They chose the song that best represents the movie and the story. Of course they did, Evan. But again, I don't think they could have beat the Billie Eilish speech, honestly. So I'm glad that Billie did it because I loved her acceptance speech. Mark says, was it really worth having an entire bit about White Men Can't Jump being 30 years old? Really significant enough to bring up the Academy Awards? Why? Mark, you're just really happy. I mean, I know you're really happy that you're really happy that Licorice Pizza didn't take anything. Yeah, we were both kind of, what the heck is that movie? But anyway, yeah. White Men Can't Jump was really weird. That was so weird. I thought, yank, was this a monumental film? I don't remember it being so monumental. I don't know. It was really weird. I'm going to give you that one. I echo Evan. So great as a song Bruno is, the song that they nominated for Encanto, in my opinion, is the better song and the more powerful, especially when you watch it with the sequence. It was used in context, especially since they used the Spanish version for the scene. Exactly. So Adam's saying quite a bit here, but a lot of times when it's an animation, sometimes they'll put the animation on the screen and the song will come from there. And I think it really works. So I would have liked that. On the same, by the same thing, Disney's used to winning. So whenever their acceptance speeches happen, they're excited, but it's not like Billie. So I'm really glad that they did it the way they did it, because I really felt that the Academy Awards would have gone down if I hadn't been able to hear Billie Eilish and her brother Finnegan, something. Anyway, those two were just adorable. Forgive me if I forgot your name because I've been spouting off a lot here today. But honestly, they were just so special, and I loved their reaction. And she just held the statue and was like, wow, that's the way you want people to accept an award. Just loved it. I just loved it. Whoever had the idea of wheeling out Liza Minnelli to give out the Best Picture Oscar should never work in the show business ever again. And why do you feel that way, Mark? Why did you not like that? I thought it was great to see Liza last night, but are you saying you would have liked to seen her in a different way? I mean, I hadn't seen Liza in a while, and to see her in the wheelchair made me think that I wish Turner Classic Movies would put her in the April movie thing that they do in Hollywood. They're pulling other people. It's a good lineup, but I would have definitely included Liza because we've got, we love Liza Minnelli and we love how she's cute as a bug, and we want to know that she's still kicking around. So I'm curious as to why you say that, because I actually loved seeing her. I loved seeing her last night. Bobby says Troy came to our school, Meriton, on Thursday. He used to be the theater arts teacher there. Bobby, how cool! Oh my gosh, how awesome! I guess it's great to work at a school for the deaf. He was gracious and took many pics with the students and signed many autographs. I'd love to go to your school and meet all of them. And not just, the actor is one thing, okay? But to meet the children, I think would be awesome. Yeah, wow. Just love it. I think that would be wonderful. And how kind of him. But of course, because that's your job, is to inspire people who think in their heads they can't do to do. That's your mission, okay? If you don't believe you can get here, let me help you to see that you can. But you've got to work. You've got to believe it, and you can't let others tell you how to live unless you're hurt. As long as you're looking for your dream and you're not stepping on the necks of others, I think you just, you're about other people and you're helping each other, and we're helping each other lift all, one good deed lifts all boats, you see? That's so important. So, oh, Bobby, that is exciting. How wonderful. The Eilish family do a lot of charity and activism work. Yes, they do. They do indeed. I try to be just like them, actually. To steal a quote from my parents, this applies to Chris Rock, to Will Smith, and to everyone, says Adam. Think it, don't say it, because every action you do will be your responsibility and you'll have to live with your actions. It's very well said. Let me say it a little differently. Your reputation is hard to keep and so easy to lose. So be careful. Be careful. You can see how quickly it can flip. So guard it with everything. Put the dragons at the door and guard it with everything you have, okay? And as Jim Rohn said, one of the greatest speakers of all time, said, wait 3 seconds before you drive into an intersection. That was his personal advice to me. Now, that means the obvious. Count to 3 before you get into an intersection, because you know how people run red lights, so you won't be in an accident. But it also means to take a breath, to count to 3, to think before you act. 1, 2, 3. Check your email before you send it, especially if it's an angry one. Reread it. Make sure spell check hasn't made it worse. And remember that the way you write is not how they see when you talk to them. I make a statement a certain way and you see it in type and it hits you wrong. There's a very good chance that I needed to say it differently, okay? Which is why I like to do live, because I want you to hear and see my face when I'm talking to you. So hear and feel the sincerity in which I say stuff. But you got to be careful. You watch what you say, do, speak, etc. And that's why I think Will could have won. It's Chris Rock. This is what he does. 2, I'm nervous because I want to win. I really worked hard on this. This was not an easy role for me to play. 3, I represent myself and actors who are leaders. Shame on you, Chris. Okay? That facial expression would have gone a million places. But sometimes it's not easy to do. I understand that. But you cannot get to this. Okay? The person who does this loses. Unless, of course, you're warning somebody that if they keep it up, you're going to lose it. Okay. Back away from me. All right. Good quote, Adam. I saw on The View that Chris Rock is on the autism spectrum. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. See, I don't look in the backgrounds. I don't look in the backgrounds of people. I do know that Chris Rock is he's like the Don Rickles, okay? And if you watch Don Rickles stuff, you hockey puck, is what he used to say all the time. People laugh, but they had to be aware that if they were going to be, a lot of people were not comfortable getting in the sights of Don Rickles. And the same is about Chris Rock, because they know this is what they do, and they're not so sure they want to hear some of their shortcomings and made funny and hear people laugh at them. Yeah. So this is, I don't want to be this kind of comedian. I would never want to be this, but there are these comedians that want that. So whether this is true or not, this is what he's chosen as a profession. And he's good at it. Kevin Costner was awesome. He made it about the movies, about directors. He put the focus on what the Oscars should focus on, not stupid jokes and attempts to appeal to people who don't love movies. Exactly. And he said it calm. And he said it firm, and he spoke clearly, and he didn't read. It's important. Yeah, that's why I was impressed with him. And I'm going to say I was impressed with him because I was not a Kevin Costner fan. Honestly, everybody said, well, what about Dances with Wolves? I thought everyone around Kevin was good in Dances with Wolves. I didn't think he was that great. But now his movie, my God, he's really killing it. I loved him in Hidden Figures. I thought he was absolutely amazing. Just enough under and enough over to be so believable. Oh, I thought he was amazing. And then in Yellowstone, he's off the chain. He's just great in Yellowstone. So I want to be the first to say that maybe your early stuff didn't move me, but you're certainly moving me now, Kevin. It doesn't mean you were necessarily not the best actor. I just didn't feel you were the best then for me. And I always say that you can't please everybody. You please the people you can, and the others, oh well. And that's kind of the Chris Rock thing and the Don Rickles thing. A lot of people love that jab, 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 poke, poke, poke. I just don't. So, and I really find it questionable that they put these two men in the room knowing that there was history. It's like you wanted it to be there. That bothers me more than anything else. By the way, Terry, Australia also got the uncensored English audio. There you go. Can you imagine? What does Australia think? Wow, look at those Americans. They aired it because it was live, and it was the presentation of the documentary feature award. The problem was lead into the award presentation with jokes. Stop joking around, says Joe, and just give the awards. I've been watching videos of past Oscar ceremonies. They used to be business with very little jokes and attempts to entertain. And story. Just story, please. There was some political. I mean, you remember when Marlon Brando refused to get the award, and the Native American came up and said, I'm accepting the award because of the plight of the American Indian and Native Americans all over, and blah, blah, blah. It became super, super political. We had a streaker at one point, not the Academy's choice. Things like this. Okay. So there are strong stuff that happens, but that's sort of, it wasn't all about jokes and silly stuff. I remember the announcer said, well, there you go, or something like that. When they cut the sound off, maybe just don't have the camera on Will the entire time. They had time to choose which camera to air. Doesn't make sense other than knowing social media will blow up. Exactly. And they could have cut to commercial that fast. Okay. Why didn't they? They saw him moving in. They know these two men have trouble. I think they left it on for just what you said, Bonnie. And that bothers me. Sabrina Diane Palo says, see, I think the slap was the pullback. I feel like he walked up there and was intent on fully decking him. I think he did pull back, but it was too little, too late. The strike is the strike. A punch would have been a hell of a lot worse. And Sabrina, I'll bet you're right. But I hope not. I don't want him to get to the point where he thought he ought to punch this guy. The slap was bad enough. And it's just like, oh, I'm so sorry. There you are, Audrey. We missed you this morning, sweetie. What were your thoughts on Encanto? We loved it. We were so happy Encanto just encantoed the whole night. Encanto had everybody feeling sunny and bright and happy and upbeat. Whether or not they messed up the Bruno song, it made everybody dance like this and go, and just enjoy themselves. This whole nice little dance that they do, they were going. It was lovely. And the colors were there. It was like the sun came out. And so Encanto just covered the earth with beauty and love and celebration. And that's what a Disney movie should do, right? Yeah, it was great. It did some great stuff. It did some great stuff. Unfortunately, it didn't get the original score after all that. They gave it to Dune. Sometimes people will vote because they want to see more of a certain type of film. I thought the new Dune was a little too human because I love the original book. And but what the new Dune made me realize is why people appreciate the Dune that I did back in the 80s. So and I didn't really understand that back in the day. I thought it's not but the characters are really much more like the book. And the Harkonnens are terrifying, where in this one, the guy just takes a mud bath, and they weren't as creepy and scary as they were in the book or in the original Dune film. So I personally, I liked it. I am not telling you I didn't like it, but I just felt they took too much of the teeth out. And I don't think Frank Herbert would have liked it as much. And I thought David Lynch was perfect for the original one because David Lynch is quirky. And that's what makes him such a fun director to watch, because you never know what he's going to do, but his body of work is incredible. So, I mean, I love the man. His channel now is hysterical, where he tells you the weather. I mean, he does it in the David Lynch way. And I just love David Lynch because he's David Lynch. He just has that weird quirkiness about him that's just great. So yeah, Encanto was lovely because it celebrated joy and happiness, and it was wonderful. Michelle says Hidden Figures is an outstanding story. Inspiring and an absolute favorite of mine. Respect. It's brilliant. And it's a story that should have been told a long time ago. So I'm so grateful that they didn't wait till after, these women were still there to see their story told. And, that they acknowledged them. When they even acknowledged them, they didn't really tell us much about it. And that was like, really? That should have been international news, these ladies. These ladies helped get us to the moon in 1969. In some cases, solely responsible. Okay, everybody was a team, but if it hadn't been for the brains of these women, and yet did they get any kind of acknowledgement early on? The answer is no. So I really love this. I love this. I love the book. I love the movie, everything about it. And thank God it finally came out so that they could get celebrated by everybody. To your point, Terry, I used to listen to Lou Task's Natural Man. It's my anthem. Oh, yes, exactly. We all have that, don't we? We all have that. Yes. We have a song that just gives you that uplifting, Yeah. By the way, Wanda's comment about the Academy only have the Wiz poster and their tribute for the film was hilarious. Yeah, that was. But I always wondered why they would call the Wizard of Oz. They shorted it to the Wiz, and that's all I'm saying. I don't think that title was a very good call. I'm not saying anymore. That's beautiful. Your reasoning about your name. What a great homage to your father. I think that my dad, who has been my hero all through my life, and you remember, he's the one that couldn't touch his daughter in a public park because he's black and I'm white. We had white water fountains and black water fountains. Which one does his daughter use? And if she can't reach, how does that work? So there are these things that happen. And I thought, I ought to do a movie about some of the incidences that I have, because people might go, oh yeah, wow. That can be very dangerous. You know how you take your little kids into the bathroom so that they're safe? My dad couldn't do that. Okay. So, so that's why I like these. I always celebrate my father. Actions speak louder. And so I always want my dad, no matter where we are, to know, Terri Hardin, you're Terri Hardin's father. We went to see Whoopi Goldberg get her dreadlocks in her hands in the cement at the Chinese theater. And my dad was telling them that I was working with her because I was at the time. And they didn't believe him. And then Whoopi came over and said, "Is your dad here?" She's, Terri, because you couldn't have missed me. I had this blonde afro. And she ran up and gave me a hug and a kiss. And everybody was like freaking out because they were all here to see her do this. And she's such a dynamic woman anyway. And then she said, "Is your father here?" And I stepped back and said, "Of course he is." And she said, "Mr. Hardin, how are you?" And after that, my dad couldn't move. Everyone wanted to hear his story again because they were like, yeah, why are you on this side of the gate? That sort of a thing. So just because someone doesn't believe you doesn't mean it didn't happen. It's just some people don't, whatever reason they choose not to enjoy the story. They think you're blowing smoke. But thank you for saying that, Bob. Very sweet. Terri, I sent you a message about your Legend Award through your website. I think you may have just answered it for me, though. Paul, anything you want to do to talk to me about stuff. And what I'd like to ask you to do in front of everybody right now is ask me questions that a lot of people don't know. Okay? And if, let's dig a little. Okay? Because if I was going to interview Miss Irvine, I would want to know about her. How did she get to Disney? What was it that made her want to be who she is today? What were the challenges of redesigning the Club 33? And what were her thoughts? Was she afraid? Was she nervous? How did she move through it? Please, this is a very special event with a lot of special people. And I'm not talking her and I, Kim Irvine and me and her mother. I'm talking about you guys. And so let's let you guys get something. Dig deep. We'll tell you if we don't want to answer them. But dig deep, okay? So, make us think about the questions that we answer, okay? Because it's very important. Let's be the award show the Academy Awards should have been, Paul. That's all I ask. And I would love it if you would, at this dinner that's happening on May 14th, really dig deep. Maybe ask your people who are attending, what would they like to know about us? And put my Kim Irvine question. What was it like to be told you're going to redesign Club 33 when people were really against it? How did you overcome that? How did you do it? What did it feel like? How did you feel? Were you in agreement? All that stuff, that yummy stuff. Get to the meat. Okay. Good job, Paul. I'm excited about that interview. I'm excited. Why would you want your last sight of Liza to be all befuddled and confused in a wheelchair? I see what you're saying, Mark. I know. But I'll bet you Liza was really happy to be there. I don't think they twisted her arm to be there. I think she really wanted to be around people that she felt were her family. And although on camera, I don't know, but I know Liza probably was so happy to get the response that she got. And then she probably went backstage and there's an after party and everybody is so honored to meet her, and she's obviously struggling right now. So I think she must have been just, honestly, I think it was for her more than for us. And because when you're with all your entertainment buddies, it's a different kind of dynamic when you're together. You know that, Mark. We don't talk about what have you been doing now and what have you been doing. That's there. But then we talk about the meat of our conversations. How are you feeling right now? Blah, 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 right? So I kind of think they did it for her just as much as for us. And I really love seeing her there. So that's the thing. One of the things about Julie Andrews that was breaking was it Julie Andrews? No, it was Doris Day, who apparently doesn't want to be seen on camera anymore because she's not like she was in the film industry. And I don't think we care. I know she cares, but I know we don't. We if you love Doris Day, you love Doris Day. You don't love the image of Doris Day, you love the woman Doris Day. So I just wish she could have been seen and not be so embarrassed of what she had become, because stuff happens in your life. And I would like to think that we love you no matter what happens to you in your life. It's not the visual we love, it's your heart, and your heart doesn't change, does it? So that's kind of my feeling about that. But I'm really glad you asked the question, Mark. Thank you. It was nice to see Liza, but sad, says Joe. See, it's just, you don't want to see your friends getting old. And you don't want to see them struggling if they're old. You want them to just be as lovely as they were before, but we can't not love them. I mean, can you imagine if I will remember it in a minute. I just had a vapor lock, so I will remember it in a minute. But in fact, give me a second. I got to Google it because it really ticks me off that I forgot what I was going to say. I hate that I forgot what I was going to say. Can you imagine if, I just remembered, can you imagine if we had told someone like Annette Funicello that we didn't want to see her in her later years, that it makes us sad to see her in her later years, when all we wanted to do was shower her with love because we adore her? So you see what I mean? I know that's not what you're saying, Mark. I'm not dissing you. I love you, man. You know that. But I just want them to know that we love them for their body of work, for their energy, for their sweetness, for their kindness, for what they give us, even if they're having trouble now. Okay, whatever their challenges are in life. We want them to know that's not what we saw. We see the heart of them. And so, like you say, Joe, it's sad, but it's important that we give them the love at the time when they're struggling, not just the time when they're on top. Right? That's true, says Bob Burdine. We are here to teach our children to cultivate wonder, curiosity, and support. Rose and I have dedicated our lives to that goal for the past 35 years. We find it so fulfilling. And this is one of the things you can learn how to do if you join the tribe. Absolutely. Adam says, thank you for the quote. It's really hard to keep your reputation, but real easy till you lose it. That's a quote I will keep with me. And I was able to share mine with you. No, your quote is excellent. And I love your parents, okay? Adam is part of the tribe, and his parents really have his back. I'll never forget that special Zoom moment when we got a little impromptu shot of your mom just hugging the heck out of you. And it was just adorable. And I love that. Those are moments I like. I love the story. Okay. Have I said that enough? Hello, Crumpet Puppet Troop. Happy Monday. You're just joining us. You missed the good stuff, buddy. No, I'm kidding. There's a puppet I just finished recently. I'd love to show you. I'd love that to be seen. So cool. I'd love to make puppets. I got sculptures that are really pushing me, and a mural that I'm working on. Well, I'm not working on it right now, but I finished phase 1. And now I'm just sitting on it, but here it is. This is my Lego mural, just for the fun of it. Here it is. Right there. There I am, but I'm going to cut myself off so you guys don't get it blocked. And I'm going to hide this for a minute, but here it is. I really wanted to do color. I've been influenced by people like my friend Janny, who Janny does, this dragon doesn't want to go smaller, but Janny does a lot of color in her painting, and I tend to do a lot of sculpting, so I haven't painted in a while. But this isn't a painting. This is all Legos. These are the Lego dots. The Lego dots. They're all individual dots. This mural is going to be 8 feet by 4.5, 5 feet. So it's all going to be done in Lego dots and Lego panels. It's going to be huge. It's going to be amazing. And Jenny suggested I go large with something that I was going to do. So I'm going to do it with this Lego panels. I love Lego. I'm almost done with my Titanic, but I wanted to do something original, and so I'm excited about doing it. It's cool. It's interesting. It's weird. I just want to build it. Okay. But I have to wait. I try to give myself a personal carrot at the end of a journey. And I have this list of things I need to do for my job. I am an entrepreneur and I work at home. So when you work at home, you're your own discipline. So you start to learn about what your shortcomings are. I tend to like to watch movies. I could sit all day for the rest of my life and just watch movies until I just collapse. But we can't do that. We have to be productive. At least I feel that way. And so in order to do the stuff that I need to do, because, and it's not that I don't love it, but I need to do it because it has a deadline. You know, I have made promises. We need to keep those promises as best we can during the pandemic. Woo. But in order to get these things done and get these things ready, I have a list of things I need to get done, and I have a list of things I need to get ready. So, yeah. So there you have it. There you have it. I put something that's just completely free and all about me, kind of fun, original art at the end, and say, when I've done this much, I get to work on that. When I've done this much, I get to work on that. Okay. And I always have a carrot out in front of me so that I will do the work I'm supposed to do, even if it's taxes. Yeah. So there you go. So something if you're doing your own thing. See, I know you can, Paul. I know you can, which is why I took the moment to tell you right here, right now. Right here, right now, right here, right now. Diane says, I Googled Liza after her appearance and found out that she had gotten viral encephalitis, and the doctors first thought is she had a stroke. She had to fight hard to learn to talk again. I love seeing her, even though she struggled, and she is still fighting. And this is the way it is, Diane. I am a huge, continuing to this day, Kirk Douglas fan. Okay. I think he's the sexiest in his family. All right. There are some movies that are kind of cheesy that he's in that I absolutely love. And he is just amazing. He had a stroke, as we know, and he came and spoke to a lot of the actors at the Screen Actors Guild to talk about his new memoir that he had written. And he talked about how long it took for him to speak after his stroke. He wasn't the sexy guy from his past, but we just were all so happy to have the opportunity to talk with him. We had to sit with patience as he worked to form his words, but it was all fantastic. And so I'm glad you're saying this. I appreciate this, and I'm grateful to Mark Silverman for bringing it up, because although it can be painful to see people like this, we want to support them and say, we're praying for you, and we're here for you, and we love you, and you go, girl, you fight the fight, you know? And I think it was nice that they did this, that they brought her out, and they honored her with the Best Picture, because her body of work is fantastic. And so I agree with you. And I'm sorry to hear that she's having this struggle. Thank you about my dragon. I'm so excited to do it. Everybody is like, are you going to sell it? What are you going to do with it? I don't know. I just want to build it. We have a new tribe member, Joe Mino, who does original Lego art. A lot of original Disney Lego art he likes to do. And he's been telling me about groups of people who do this all the time. Well, I don't know about this insane thing. He says this is one of the most, what's the word? Ambitious things he's ever seen. And I love hearing from him saying that when he really means it's insane. But anyway, I'm so excited to do it. And I've got some friends in Europe that are going to help me get this many dots. I will give you some stats. I am now, after I get my homework done, I go and I work a little bit on this, not building it yet. I just used a program called Fresco to work in it, or you could do Procreate, both digital programs. I laid out the grid and then I colored it in, and I went back and forth with this ability because it's great with layers and everything. But anyway, I finally got it to where I'm happy. So now I'm going back and adding up the dots of each color that I need. One of the things that I really am proud of is I managed to keep the colors, as many colors as I have here. I've managed to keep the colors down. I'm looking at this dark purple, and I'm not sure I have that in the tongue, but I'll check it. But I think I've kept it to, I'm trying to remember if I pull up the Procreate, which you won't be able to see. I mean, if I pull up the Adobe Fresco, it's hard to see Adobe Fresco because sometimes they let you see it and sometimes they don't. But in Adobe Fresco, with all how colorful it is, I've managed, let me see if it'll pull up here, because it may or may not. It may just not want to pull up. But if it does pull up, I'll just give you a stat here. So I'm looking at this dusty purple, and I think it's the same dusty purple I used behind the eye. But I actually, yeah, I've got the dusty purple. I should check and see. Whoops. Let me just quickly check and see if the dusty purple underneath the tongue is an additional color. There it is. If it's an additional color or if it's a new color. Or if, do I have? No, I've got it. Okay, good. That's what I wanted to see. Okay, so I've kept it to 16, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39 colors, which if you look at the dragon is amazing that all of that only has like 39, 40 colors. Okay. I may have to bring it down. Now what I'm going to do is tally up how many colors I have, and then I'm going to look at the dots available through a website and see what dots are available. That turns out they have a lot of dots available. It's just a matter of getting to the dots like I need to get to in order to make this dragon the way it is. But I'll show you to him again. It's pretty good. It looks like there's a lot more. I don't know. I think there's a lot more colors in there than 30, but it turns out that there's not, that it's actually about 30 colors in there. And that's cool. I may have to come down. I may have to do less colors, but right now I'm just going to do what you do is you do it as elaborate as you want. And then you'll look at there's a place that has all the dots listed and their colors. And I'll print that out, or I'll put that on my computer and take a look at it as I tally this. But that all happens after I've done my homework, after I've got the stuff done that I need to get done, like this broadcast. Do that first every Monday and every Friday. When the Academy honored Charlie Chaplin, although he didn't speak, he had the longest applause in Oscar history. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So you just want to celebrate those people. Yeah, you just want to celebrate that. And by the way, he did his little biscuit bit, little bun bit, roll bit, with the forks at Musso and Frank's. Yeah. They say Musso and Frank's believes that's where he came up with the idea, but he at least did it there. Have a great week. See you all Friday. I think sometimes the reason it can be hard to see aging celebrities, says Rebecca Mosley. Hi, Rebecca Mosley, is because we worry that it is not their choice. I hope that it is harder. I hope that that is harder now than we've witnessed in the past, where appearances were to fuel the wants of others around them and not their own. But a lot of times in this case, it's I'll bring Douglas back in again, Kirk Douglas. He really wanted to get the word out to people and share. It helped keep him alive, he said, is to know that there are still so many that love you, because when you spend so much time with yourself, it can be, you can go down a dark hole. And when you phone a friend, you realize there's like 5,000 that want to show you some love, really want to, they have your back. When you're sad, you kind of think you're the only one, don't you? But you reach out to people. I mean, that's what the tribe that I'm involved with is so great about it. It allows people to reach out and talk to each other. And we say, what's going on? We really do want to, when we ask you how you are, we mean it. Okay. And when I ask you how you are, I mean it, but on a public space, you don't necessarily want to dig that deep, do you? You don't want to sit there and say what's really bothering you. But on the tribe, we're private. So you can say that and we can work with you. The whole team rallies around you. The whole tribe rallies around you to help you feel better. And it's great for $5 a month. Yeah. So there you go. I'm not here to break the bank. I'm here to help you out, right? Yeah. So let's see. What does we got Audrey saying something here. The video a while back of Tim Curry being wheeled in front of an iconic scenes broke my heart. It does. And I remember Tim Curry did the time warp with Patricia Quinn, Tim Curry, Richard O'Brien. I think that was it. The three of them dancing with us at the Tiffany Theater. Me as Magenta getting to dance next to Patricia Quinn. We did the time warp. My friend Philo, who was dressed as Riff Raff, danced with Richard O'Brien. And then Garrett danced next to Tim Curry as we all did the time warp at the Tiffany Theater. A memorable moment that I'm so grateful to have happen. But I love Tim Curry. I loved him in Clue. I thought he was so darling. So it's nice just to say, we love you in our hearts and in our minds. If you want to come out and you're not 100%, you'll be 100% in our hearts and we'll make you feel good about yourself. That's our job. So tell you how much we love you and your work, right? And how much we're going to remember you. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it'll break your heart, but it makes your mission to make them feel good, doesn't it? Yeah. There was a Disney, Susan Horkey says there was a Disney game, still is open. Not Disney. It is all Disneyland for the 50th. They have a grid, and my foster brothers built all designs in rooms using graph paper or their brains. They had Legos in Game Today and empty rooms that build in. I will post Scotch Dragon. I would love that. Yeah, please do, Susan. I'd love to see Scotch Dragon. Yeah, I did this grid myself because I'm an artist and that's what I do. Okay. I have a panel. Okay. I got the Beatles, for example, and the Beatles faces are done with dots. Okay. And you can do one of two Beatles on it. You do a Beatle, then you take them off and you do another Beatle. I'm not too keen about that, but it's cool. And the panels are 16 dots by 16 dots. And so there's a lot of 16 by 16 dots panels in this dragon. And then when I did the math of it, it comes out to be 8 feet by 5 feet or 8 feet by 4 point. About 8 feet by 5 feet. So it's going to be big. It's going to be very big. But what I like are these little panels, okay? And in some cases, I don't know if it's the Beatles, there's panels that are 3 of these together, which would make it 16 by 16, 16, 16, okay? So 32 plus 16 again, which is what, 48? If my math is right. Anyway, if it's not, you'll fix it. But anyway, it's a 3 panel. And in some cases in my dragon, I can use those 3 panels together that are fused together. But the little single panels will make it so that a big thing like this, I could just stack up. But I'll take you through. I'll guide you guys. You guys will be able to see it when I start it. Right now, at night before bed, I actually pull it up and kind of calculate a color. And it's nice because my colors are only 30 colors that I need, including white and black. And some of these colors I already have because I have a Beatles, I have a Marilyn Monroe, I have a world map that has a lot of pieces in it. And it has a lot of white. So there's not a lot of white in my dragon, but it has a lot of white. So I won't be using all the white, but I'll look there and see if I can alter colors that I already have and stuff. And then I'll let you know what the price tag is going to be because this will be expensive. Okay. I think it will be. Maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see. But I think it's going to be a little bit of money. And we'll let you know what it costs if you want to do one of these endeavors yourself and what it's about. I'm really grateful to Joe Mino because he is a Lego person who's been in Lego for 30 years. And he was kind of explaining to me and us on the tribe about how you don't coat the Lego to stay. Okay. The purist builds it. And if it shatters, it shatters. If it falls apart, it falls apart. But in my case, if I'm going to donate it to or sell it to someone or some organization, I will need to coat it so that it doesn't fall apart. Yeah, I need to talk about that. And there are things, Joe was saying there are things that make it permanent. And then I'm speaking with the Lego Corporation, and I know they have some things for me too. So I'll keep you posted on it. Right now, it is right now a dream of mine. I finished the drawing, and now I am working on things like the Cheshire Cat, which I should show you really quickly. Our time, we're over 3 hours. This is one of the longest ones we've ever done, guys, since the pandemic. But I will still take a moment to show you. Those of you who ordered a Cheshire Cat may be wondering, when do I get my kitty? Here's the kitty, okay? And we're going to just hide this for a minute. Here's the Cheshire Cat. I still have about 20 left. Go to terrihardin.com, click on online store, and you can buy a Cheshire Cat if you want one. You can order him. But I have about 20 left, and those of you who pre-ordered, they should be coming probably April. One of the things, I remember I told you it was going to be March, and I apologize for that, but I don't rush my painters. Each one of these pieces is painted by hand. Every single one painted by hand, sculpted by hand, painted by hand, okay? And so if I rush my painters, then they can get sloppy, because my painters are trying to meet a deadline rather than focus on each and every cat. And there's only a limited edition of 50. So I want them to paint and make each one beautiful, because I will send it back if it's not gorgeous. So this is what we want for you. We want it to be a really lovely, sweet, beautifully experience for you, the Cheshire Cat. From the time you open the mailing box and see the little box that I've created just for the Cheshire Cat, and the certificate of authenticity, the paper, everything, and then you see the pussycat. So I want it to be that good for you. There's only 50. So I've sold all but 20-ish. And you can go from there from what it is. So it's going to take a little bit longer, but I'm going to keep you posted. And if you've ordered a cat and you want to know specifically, feel free to write to me. You have the right to write to me. I've pre-sold it to you. Don't be too shy about asking me about it. You're not pushing me. You just want to know if it's still top of mind. When do I get it? And so I get that. With the pandemic, things are a little more challenging. We had a little challenge with paint. We're having, there's a couple of areas we're having, we have challenges in the weirdest spots. And so we're doing the best we can, but you have every right to ask me. And then I will, if you even need to jump on a phone call and want to ask me, okay, with your cat. And that goes with everything. Okay. It's just the way things are. And I appreciate you being patient and understanding, because everything's hand painted. That's why I usually keep the additions around 50, because it's a lot of work by hand. As we get to this Rolly Crump chess set, that's going to be another issue. Right now, I'm thinking of maybe only doing 5. That's because they can be very, very pricey. It's going to be an investment to get the chess set, because there's 32 pieces. And so, if you think of the figures at their prices and multiply that by 32, you can see that it's an investment, right? But I'll take you through the Rolly Crump chess. I want to finish another figure before I really focus on that, and then I'll show you a bunch of stuff, okay? All right, that's good. Yay. And what else we got going here? Rebecca Mosley, I adore murals. I think it was early exposure to those in Cinderella Castle and the mosaics at the Getty Museum. Love your developing dragon. Thank you. I'm just real excited to do it. I've painted, and let me hide this. The tribe has got some amazing artists, and many of the artists are talking about going big. So painting is something that I'm delving into. This painting here is that you see here, that the chair is kind of blocking. If I do this and push him over a little bit. This is a piece that I'm really proud of. It's coming along very well, but this is my MO. I tend to do realistic. So what I'm trying to do with the dragon, if you will, is to get a little freer. And I will show you a painting where I just threw all that out and just painted. It's still got some refined air. It's got, but I'll show it to you. It's very fantasy oriented, because I'm trying to find, as well as you guys know, Terri art, like you can look at a sculpture and go, that's a Terri Hardin. I want you to be able to say that with my painting. And so the painting is fun, but I am taking a class where it's a bit restrictive. So I'm taking a class. I'm actually following someone as they guide me through this one. And then if I take you back to my paintings, because some of you may be new to the channel. So let me just show you my paintings and my journey. So here is my first one, which is my self-portrait. I did a self-portrait because I didn't want anyone to complain that it didn't look like them. It's acrylics. It may not look exactly like me, but it's my first one. So because it's my first one, I knew I'd be free and not worry if it was myself. So I decided to do a self-portrait. And it probably, you know, the thing I'm really proud of is the dreadlocks, because the dreadlocks look, you know, at the time they look like my dreadlocks. Now my dreadlocks are going gray. But this was the very first painting I did, and I was really proud of it because I just closed my eyes and like went for it, right, with the teacher. And that's that one. And then I will show you, here is the detail. This one isn't finished yet, but this is the one I showed you over on my table. This one is called, right now it's called Sword Master, but it's not about a samurai who fights with the sword. It's about the builder, the person who builds the sword. So it's a person who's been creating samurai swords, and they're coveted from all over the world. And it's just him with his last sword. So it's not quite done. I don't have a highlight in the eyes yet. This guy teaches you to kind of come from the outside in, paint the whole picture and kind of tone it in. So it's kind of interesting to experience that. You like paint the whole thing and then you kind of bring the whole picture in together. The first one, which was my self-portrait that I showed you, she paints the eye and then she teaches you how to sort of radiate from here to paint the whole picture. Both realistic paintings. So I'm sitting there saying to myself, I like realistic paintings, but I want to, you know, who knows? And so I found this Korean teacher, and he is so cute. He's very sweet. And he was teaching me about letting that all go, and you have to draw straight in ink. So I drew this guy straight. You draw in ink. You don't get any pencil. You don't get any roughing in pencil. You have to just, you have a permanent ink and you just commit. It's a little scary. Yeah, but you just commit to it. And so I did this one, which is some of my, I love these fish. And I just think it's a lot of fun. One of the things though is that this looks like a Mickey. So they said, you know, maybe next time you shouldn't use black. But when you do the ink just pudges on there. And this is watercolor. So I was a little nervous about watercolor, but he taught me, and he said, he gave me a critique of think of a light source. So that is those little things on their noses. And you see how whimsical it is. So and this is my style. This is a style that I've developed. So, you know, maybe this is the direction of my painting as I take the journey. So wanted to share the journey with you guys, because you just commit to, if you fail, you fail. If you don't, you don't. If you're, you know, whatever, back and forth, whatever. So I'm experimenting with a lot of things, but it's fun to do so. So, yeah, so it's cool. He is so cute. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's, yeah, the dragon is interesting, and it's not a painting, it's a Lego piece. So I'm kind of doing a mural, but I'm doing it with Lego, and it's because I did the Titanic and I was starting to feel melancholy about the Titanic, and someone had given me a Beetle, and I looked at the Beatles, you know, John Paul, Ringo, George, and I just didn't really want to build a Beetle with the Beatles set. So people like Joe Mino told me, you know, a lot of times you will buy a set and you'll take it apart. You won't even build the set. You'll take from that to build something else. Yeah. So I always do that. We call that kit bashing back in the day of little model kits. So I'm all excited about it. So anyway, I know I digressed from the Academy Awards, but I'm just tickled that I get this opportunity to have that as my carrot for a while. I love that self-portrait. I saw it in your personality, not just your physical features. Thank you, Rebecca. Yeah, it's fun because, you know, if you're gonna, you know, this teacher, is a realist. And so she was saying, pick someone that you want to paint that is special to you. But it was my first painting. I actually wrote to her and said, is this good for a first time? And she said, yeah, you can do it. And I was like, okay, just wanting to check about what your teaching is going to be like. Because sometimes a teacher will teach very advanced and they'll already use terms that you're supposed to know. But painting, I haven't painted since I was 7. I did a painting for Chuck Jones Society for Creativity, and I think they threw it away when I first did my first one. Because, what are you going to do? But you can hear that I'm very upbeat about it. I'm very, and so I said, I want to just be free. I want to take all the pressures off myself and just take the class. And so I felt if I did a self-portrait, no one would complain if it didn't look like them. I knew I wouldn't because I'm the painter. So that's what I decided to do. It had to be a person because that's the way she taught. So I couldn't do animals. I love painting animals and creatures, which is why you saw the fish one. The fish one's very special to me because watercolors, my mother was a brilliant watercolor artist, and me and watercolors, the paper would just kind of get muddy and I wasn't sure. I can do watercolors if we put a color here. Okay. So if I go to my cachet art, I'm sure I have it here somewhere. Come on. I do not have my cachets here. Okay, well, I have them in favorites, I'll bet you. Let's look in favorites. Yeah, they're in favorites. So if we take a look at these cachet pieces, I did a cachet art piece where you paint the envelope. So the cachet is, there's the stamp, and then there's the cancellation for first day of issue, and then a cachet is the art or image or sticker or whatever you put on there. I hand painted these, a hell of a lot of these. I did the illustration, and then the watercolor makes the color. But you see how there's not a lot of blending and mixing. There's a little blending in his fiery top there, and there's a little bit in the yellows, but I'm playing it safe, don't you think? And then we do the trees like this, but this was kind of my extent of watercolor. And so to really delve into mixing and matching and making it happen is all new to me. But what point am I trying to make to you? The point I'm trying to make to you as we close is don't be afraid to start something new, and don't be afraid of failing forward, because your failure might be a happy accident. And if it's not, you're going to say, well, hey, I had to draw in straight ink. This is this teacher's exercises. He makes you throw away the pencils. You get no pencils. You have to do straight watercolor, straight ink. And it's nerve-wracking. He walks you through, but you got to commit. And of course, it's an online class, so you could cheat if you wanted to, but then you're cheating yourself. So I really, really enjoy seeing some of the students that have a real good handle on perspective as they do it straight, on there. And mine some are successful and some are a nightmare. Some just don't work. He shows you how to do dots. Like if dots with your inks, you can kind of map it out with dots, but you're drawing in straight ink. It's kind of like, but I love a challenge. And I think if you just give over to your teacher and you just do the best you can, you might think it's a lot scarier if you're in a class where everybody, you're looking at other people and stuff. And you love the After Oscar show. I don't watch those. So, I don't watch those. Yeah, I'm sure they were wonderful, but no, I just wanted to know who won and celebrate and gloat. To be honest, I've been doing a lot of gloating about Coda because a lot of people told me there was no way. They loved, speaking of people who love to jab you, like Chris Rock, they loved jabbing me about Power of the Dog. Lots of my friends were jabbing me about Power of the Dog because they know I just hate this film. So they were just jab, 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 poke, poke, poke. Oh, it's going to be Power of the Dog. What are you going to do if it's Power of the Dog? It's going to be Power of the Dog. And I'm like, no, it's not. They wouldn't do that to me. They wouldn't do it to me because then I think they're pretentious, because I don't think that movie was something that was understandable. And I don't think that movie was good at all. Now there's a friend of mine who likes it, and I hope we can go to lunch and debate it, with love, because maybe he'll help me to change my mind to just severely dislike it. But I just did not like the movie at all. And it's not my cup of tea. So there you go with that one. Your after hour show. Oh, thank you. Whoosh! I love you. love you. You are you're so patient with me. Me, the artist, who it went like right over my head. You saw it here first, Diane. Woo! Catch that one. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet and kind. Listen, you can't even pay me a compliment. I like, yeah. What are you going to say? Thank you for saying that. I know you guys did, because you guys have been just hanging on here, and we are almost at, we're at 3 hours and a half. We're at 3.5 hours. And I just love you for it. Usually my Mondays are shorter, and it's already 1:12. So I love you for hanging in there. At least it wasn't Gucci, House of Gucci. To be honest with you, that would have killed me too. But I would have rather it been Gucci than Power of the Dog. I really did not like Power of the Dog. I felt like my time was wasted at the end of it. House of Gucci was hilarious. I felt like it was a Saturday Night Live skit because of the accents. And I just couldn't believe that they actually let that movie go to the theater or go to streaming in the way it was, that the DVDs were actually pressed with those accents in there. It really felt like a parody. And I was, wow, but yeah. And I wasn't a fan of West Side Story. And the reason I didn't like West Side Story is because I feel Lindsay, my husband, says that Steven Spielberg had a new crane and he needed to get those crane shots, Years ago, when Steven Spielberg wanted to do Schindler's List, Martin Scorsese told him, you should let me do it, because you can't do something without a crane shot. Well, in West Side Story, he did a lot of those crane shots, those swooping back to swooping in. And my husband says he got it out of his system. But the thing that bothered me about West Side Story is that I just don't think of people in the year 2000 dancing like the theater troupe dancing. Back then, the stylized dancing of the original West Side Story, was something that was done. And now the dancing is very different and very unique to this group of people in 2000. And I just would have liked that to be more of today, because then you would have been excited to see the two together. And I don't care if I ever see this new West Side Story, because it's a copy of the other one, only with Puerto Rican people. And I love the Puerto Rican people. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I just think you should have done more. Like, you could have done Puerto Rican type dance moves, and I would have loved it. Or maybe like in Hamilton, there's some dancing, but it's more modern. It's more to the way that Hamilton comes off. And I don't think that I don't see gang members dancing like they did in the 50s and 60s and 70s. I just don't see that. So that was a problem for me. And Spielberg is so talented that I just think, you can keep the people, but upgrade the story a little bit, bring it a little more to the gangs and the way things are today, not aggressive and guns and killing and stuff like that. I don't think that, but I mean, you could have kept with the basic story, but you bring it into today's world. And I would have liked that. I would have liked that a lot better. And that's just me. That's the way I feel about it, but again, West Side Story over Power of the Dog, West Side Story over Gucci, Gucci over Power of the Dog. Okay. But Coda was the winner, and I had no doubt about that. And thank you, Academy, for agreeing with me and making it Coda, because it deserved to be Coda. And of course, I'm glad Coda won. So that's the way I'm feeling about that. LOL, says Diane. All right, guys. I love you guys. Wow, you kept me busy for such a long time, and you hung in there with me. I want to thank you for hanging in with me for 3.5 hours as we really dig deep and chop and devour the Academy Awards, positive and negative. This, as you will notice, is friendly debating. And that's what we want to do on our social media pages. We do not want to attack that person personally. We want to just disagree and then listen to what they have to say. So with Mark Silverman, for example, who I love, is someone who said he wasn't happy with Liza Minnelli coming on the stage. And I was happy. So there's two different views. But he stated his view, and it made absolute sense, didn't it? And then I stated my view, which also made sense. And both of us are still friends. So when you debate someone, please don't get personal. Don't add things like, something that is affront to their character. You idiot, you jerk, what's the matter with you? You don't want to say things like this to the person, because that's insulting their personal character. And that's not I hope that's not your goal. Okay. Your goal is to just debate. Okay. And sometimes someone will hit you specifically with it to personalize it, because for whatever, I don't know, they want to, I don't know why people do that, but this makes it. And on here, guys, you all are so great about saying what you like and what you didn't like, and allowing us to talk about it, and allowing me to state my views, and just making it just a beautiful channel of chatting, debate, and stuff. So please subscribe, if this is the kind of thing you like. Understand that the beauty of YouTube is you don't have to sit here for the whole thing. I appreciate that you do, but I know we all have lives. But I thought this was important enough, and this is my situation, is that I thought it was important enough that we get all the way through it, because we were shocked, weren't we, at some of the things that happened at the Academy Awards. So I want to tell you, I love you. I am grateful to you. Power of the Dog has Doctor Strange. No, Power of the Dog is strange, okay? Cumberbatch is a great actor, and he was brilliant in the Spider-Man, latest Spider-Man movie. Gosh, I loved him in that. But this one, no. I want to break that disc, honestly. I have no trouble breaking that disc. Have a fantastic day. Thank you, Adam. Love this stream and love the atmosphere. This is why I'm proud to know you. I'm proud to know you too. Everything is great. And I'm so excited that you all joined me. You all have such great opinions. Have a great week, Joe. I loved what you had to say. Been here since the start. I know, Angie, and you always hang in with me, girl. I really appreciate it. Connie Lane, you didn't say a lot, but there's the hearts, and thank you for listening. I don't know what you thought or if you even saw it, but I want to tell you that this was great, guys. I really had a good time. I hope you did too. And for those of you who had to go to work or whatever, know that it's on the YouTube channel. You can revisit it. You can comment again. Hit me up, and hugs and kisses to you. Be nice to someone else. It'll make you feel a whole lot better. Evan, you are so sweet. 3.5 hours flew right by. You guys are just lovely, wonderful, and so, so kind. I love you all. Please subscribe. Urge your friends to subscribe, because I do have teeth. I'm always going to tell you my opinion. I'm going to gently disagree, but I'll never insult your character. And I know you'll never insult mine. So I hope you'll join me Friday for Ask Me Anything. Today was kind of a special one, because we all love movies and we all love Academy Awards. And I wanted a place for us to really discuss things other than the incident that happened between the incident that happened with Will Smith. I'm sorry that that's going to monopolize it. And I didn't want it to do that here, but I did want to discuss it because it's something that we're all thinking about. And hopefully, who knows, Will Smith might tune in and hear what I have to say. If I were him, I wouldn't. I mean, some people care what I have to say. Some people don't. That's why we each have our own channel, right? But subscribe if you love it. Urge your friends if they want to get in on the conversation. I love to talk to you and with you. So I love you. Hugs and kisses. Everything is wonderful. I'm going to go smack. Joe does not mean that. Okay. He is being silly. Yes, I hope anyway. All right, guys. I love you. Be well. Take care.